Chapter 45-33. The head of the Yenwu Hall was an old man with a childlike appearance in a dress that resembled a Taoist robe. After Huang Fuping arrived and explained his purpose, he couldn't help frowning and persuaded. "Boy Ping, I advise you not to try to compete with that void sword. You are not his opponent." Not long ago, the hall master of their Golden Dragon Hall had already sent a message to all the hall masters, including him, about the new disciple Duan Lingtian of their Golden Dragon Hall. They also realized Duan Lingxian's extraordinariness. This temple guardian disciple, who was given the title of Void Sword by their temple master, is an invincible, superior god. "Master you, it's just a discussion. I'm just curious, how strong is the genius younger than me in the mouth of master?" Huang Fuping said, and hearing Huang Fuping's words, Yuxinia, the head of the Yenwu Hall of the Golden Dragon Palace, finally knew why this little disciple of the head of the palace wanted to discuss with Duan Lingtian. After all, he didn't want to believe that such a genius monster existed. At the same time, Kui also came in with Duan Lingtian. Kui, however, didn't know that his master had also informed his younger junior brother Huang Fuping that Duan Lingtian was younger than him, and also asked Huang Fuping to learn from Duan Lingtian. How can Huang Fuping, who is usually arrogant, accept this? Seeing is believing. He still wanted to feel for himself whether the genius in his master's mouth was really as enchanting and unparalleled as his master said. "Master you, this is the new disciple of our Golden Dragon Palace's guardian, the Void Sword Duan Lingtian." After Kui came in, he greeted Yuxinia with a smile. Then he said to Duan Lingtian, "Senior brother Lingtian, this is the head of Yuxinyu, the head of our Golden Dragon Hall's Yenwu Hall, and one of the 4th-tier Zeons in our Golden Dragon Hall. Zeon 4th Order." After hearing Kui's words, Duan Lingtian took a serious look at the old man in front of him. "You must know that the 4th Order Zeon is also the 1st Order closest to the semi-holy. Stepping into the 5th step is a semi-holy. Duan Lingtian, I have seen Hall Master you." Duan Lingtian greeted Yuxinia with a smile, which made Yuxinia a little surprised. He thought that all geniuses were as arrogant as Huang Fuping, but the one in front of him was obviously different. Perhaps this is the reason why he can achieve such achievements at this age. While Yuxinia secretly said he greeted Duan Lingtian with a smile, "Brother Lingtian is very talented. The hall master is very optimistic about you. If you don't want to argue with him in this competition, you can refuse." As Yuxinia said that, he glanced at Huang Fuping, who was on the side. However, before Duan Lingtian could speak, Huang Fuping glared at him and said, "Senior Yu, he has already agreed. What are you still doing here?" Yuxinia glanced at Huang Fuping speechlessly. He just wanted to help Huang Fuping. But now Huang Fuping is obviously not appreciative. He didn't say any more. "Palace Master Yu, it is said that we will enter your inner body to learn from the small world. Then I will trouble you." Duan Lingtian didn't say much nonsense, and said to Yuxinia with a smile, "He is very clear. For a person like Huang Fuping, there is no way to convince him with words. Only fists can convince him. No trouble, just a small matter." Then Yuxinia had a thought, and 2 invisible forces swept towards Duan Lingtian and Huang Fuping. "You two, don't deal with resistance. I will now put you into the dual space specially opened up in the small world of my body." Almost when Yuzini's voice fell, the figures of Duan Lingtian and Huang Fuping disappeared. At the same time, in the void in the Yenwu Hall, a mirror image appeared, and it was Duan Lingtian and Huang Fuping who appeared in a barren space. The space they were in was groggy, but there was still light enough to see their faces clearly. At their feet, there is a barren mountain range, endless as far as the eye can see, as if there is no end. "Just in time. Brother Huang Fuping, fight against our newly promoted disciple of the Golden Dragon Palace, the Void Sword. I just received a summons." It was said that this scene was cast over our Golden Dragon Hall. It seems that it was the Yu Hall master of the Yenwu Hall who wanted to show this battle to the outside world. "What? A mirror image of this scene appeared in the sky above our Golden Dragon Hall. Hall, master you. Do you want this battle to attract the attention of people from all major temples? You must know that when someone enters the dual space to fight, they just put the mirror image into the Yenwu Hall for the disciples of this hall to watch. Few of them put mirror images outside, unless the duel is the strongest or invincible upper god venerable. I almost forgot. Our new disciple of the Temple Guardian is the invincible upper god venerable. I also forgot. According to the practice of our Bibo Tianfu, if one of the dueling people is the strongest or the invincible superior god, the Yenwu Hall will tacitly display the mirror image to the outside world for the major temples to observe. In the Yenwu Hall, a group of disciples of the Golden Dragon Hall were discussing each other. Over the Golden Dragon Hall, the situation was turbulent, and the huge mirror image that suddenly appeared also shocked the quartet, attracting people from other temples to come and watch. Even the news continued to spread. Soon, more and more people gathered in the sky above the Golden Dragon Palace. Is there a superpower in the Golden Dragon Palace who wants to take action? Impossible. You didn't see that one of the people in the mirror image is the youngest disciple of the head of Shao Hall, Huang Fuping. Could it be that Huang Fuping's current opponent, this unfamiliar face, is that Duan Lingtian? Duan Lingtian. Yes, I heard from my master that the master of the Golden Dragon Palace has just accepted a disciple of the palace guard for the Golden Dragon Palace and given the name Void. Step threshold. The law realizes the invincible, superior, god venerable in the realm of small perfection. Damn it. Is it true? Kendo touches the seventh order threshold. Even the sage powerhouse of our Bibo Tianfu seems to have not touched the seventh order threshold, right? As more and more people gathered, the news spread further. Soon, many figures appeared in the void around the Golden Dragon Hall. Some of the famous people from the major temples. That's senior sister Ji Qiushui from Tinshui Temple. Unexpectedly, she's here too. Senior sister Ji Qiushui's strength is not weaker than that of senior brother Ku Yi from our Golden Dragon Hall. I didn't expect that she would come. I remember that what she is good at seems to be not the way of the sword, but the way of the sword, right? There are many similarities between swords, and it is not impossible to find the inspiration of swordsmanship from swordsmanship. At the same time, a group of Golden Dragon Hall disciples in the Golden Dragon Hall successively recognized many more famous disciples from the major temples of Bibo Tianfu. It's Senior Brother Xuelang. He actually came too. Senior Brother Xuelang, the invincible superior of Bibo Hall. Chapter 45-34. There are two invincible upper gods in Bibo Tianfu. One of them was the Xuelang of Bibo Hall. Xuelang, like the Ji Qiushui of Tinshui Temple, is a good swordsman. The accomplishments of the two in the Tao of the Blade are similar. However, because Xuelang comprehended the profound meaning of the laws of the Great Perfection realm and stepped into the realm of the invincible superior God Venerable, his strength is much stronger than Ji Qiushui. However, if Ji Qiushui is good at the profound meaning of the law and can enter the realm of great perfection, it is really hard to say who is stronger and who is weaker. Junior sister Qiushui, you are here too. After Xuelang arrived, he found Ji Qiushui and approached him for a while, greeting him with a smile. Both of them use knives, and they usually have the opportunity to discuss the Tao of the Blade together, but they are fairly familiar. Senior Brother Xuelang. When Ji Qiushui saw Xuelang, he also smiled and said hello. I heard from them that the invincible high-ranking gods recruited by the Golden Dragon Palace this time are going to take action, so I will join in the fun. Brother Xuelang is also here for him, right? Facing Ji Qiushui's question, Xuelang nodded with a smile. I'm also curious how this disciple of the Golden Dragon Hall's new guardian, relying on the profound meaning of the law of the realm of small perfection, has the strength comparable to the invincible superior god. In the land outside the realm, and even in the contemporary world, I have never heard of anyone who can possess the strength of an invincible superior while only mastering the profound meaning of the laws of the realm of small perfection. There is such a saying, but many people say that this is just a conjecture. Hearing Xuelang's words, Ji Chuxue said with a smile, "Does he have the strength of an invincible, high-ranking god? Just take a look and you'll know." Xuelang nodded. At the same time, Duan Lingtian, who was standing against Huang Fuping in the dual space in the small world inside the body of the head of the Yenwu Hall, Yuxinia in the Golden Dragon Hall, looked extremely calm. "Duan Lingtian, since it is said that you are the invincible, high-ranking god, I will take the shot first. You shouldn't mind, right?" Huang Fuping asked. "Random." Duan Lingtian smiled. Not to mention that Huang Fuping is not an invincible, high-ranking god. Even if he is not afraid. It is good. At the same time Huang Fu answered, a spear suddenly appeared in his hand. The spear was about 8 feet long and exuded an intimidating aura. Obviously, it was also a supreme artifact. Whoosh! Huang Fu moved, his body was astonished, he shot out his spear. The spear shot out like a dragon, and the dazzling golden light turned into a long dragon in the blink of an eye, roaring out towards Duan Lingtian. Seeing this, Duan Lingtian did not panic. He didn't even plan to take out the 7 apertures exquisite sword. He stood there, his expression unchanged. At this moment, the divine power in his body was turbulent, one after another. The divine power of the space law was integrated, and he broke out of the body and at the same time whistled into the void as if he had disappeared. When Huang Fu Ping came over, Duan Lingtian disappeared in place, appeared above Huang Fu Ping's head. At the same time, under the watchful eyes of all, in the mirror image that caught his eye, there were all swords, and the overwhelming sword light roared down, making Huang Fuping seem to be trapped in a sea of swords. No matter how he broke free, it would be useless. In the end, submerged by the sea of swords, disappear. However, at a critical moment, the head of Yenwu Hall, Yuxinia, sent Huang Fuping out of the small world inside his body. Although he knew that Duan Lingtian would definitely keep his hands at the critical moment. But even so, Huang Fuping was still injured. Too fast. So fast. Extremely strong. Huang Fuping, in front of him, there is no way to fight back. Golden Dragon Hall, disciples from the major temples of Bibo Tianfu, exclaimed in surprise, looking at the purple figure in the mirrored image that looked like a god. In addition to shock, there was shock in his eyes. His strength is no weaker than mine. Xuelang's face became solemn. Sure enough, he has the strength of an invincible superior god. Moreover, his space law has indeed not yet stepped into the realm of great perfection. As for Ji Chuxue, his face was full of horror. Huang Fuping's strength, although not as good as hers, is not much worse. She wanted even Huang Fu Ping to be at least 30 strokes away. And the young man in purple in the mirror image, the new disciple of the guardian of the Golden Dragon Palace, the void sword Duan Lingtian, used only one move to defeat Huang Fu Ping. Terrible. When the outside world is shocked, there was also a dead silence in the Golden Dragon Hall's martial arts hall. A group of Golden Dragon Hall disciples present were a little stunned. They didn't expect that Huang Fuping, an existence that was almost invincible in their eyes, would be defeated by one move. Even Huang Fu Ping, after being sent out, still looked sluggish and his eyes were full of disbelief. Even Ku Yi was a little shocked at this time. Although he knew that Duan Lingtian was strong, he didn't expect it to be so strong. It's definitely stronger than the average, invincible, high-ranking god Venerable, Ku Yi secretly said. At the same time, Duan Lingtian, who was in the small world of Yuxinia, the main body of Yenwu Hall, suddenly closed his eyes and frowned, but he seemed to be feeling something. It was also seeing this scene that Yuxinia was not in a hurry to send Duan Lingtian out. He could see. This Duan Lingtian should have realized something. Suddenly, around Duan Lingshan's body. The sea of swords reappeared, and then disappeared into the void. Appears again, disappears again. Appears again, disappears again. After going back and forth dozens of times, Duan Lingtian opened his eyes, and his eyes seemed to be sharper. I really didn't expect that fighting with people would actually speed up my absorption of the memories of the Wukong old man. I feel that the space law is just one step away from entering the realm of great perfection. Once the laws of space step into the realm of great perfection, the swordsmanship will officially step into the seventh order. Thinking of this, Duan Lingshan's heart couldn't help but agitate. Yu-Ho Master. At the same time, Duan Lingtian greeted Yuxinia, the master of Yanwu Hall. Before Yuxinia returned to his senses, Duan Lingtian had already said, I want to challenge the two invincible superior gods in Bibo Hall and Tianshui Hall. But I don't know. How do I need to go through the procedure? In a word, it attracted everyone's attention, because Yuxinia had not removed the mirror image of the outside world. Duan Lingshan's words were also heard by the onlookers. For a while, all eyes fell on Xuelang. Hearing this, Xuelang also showed a fierce fighting intent in his eyes. At the same time, before Yuxinia replied to Duan Lingtian, he was the first to speak loudly, and the voice spread all over the Golden Dragon Hall in an instant. Duan Lingtian, I am the invincible superior of Bibo Hall, Xuelang. If you want to challenge me, you can do it now. I'm just outside the Golden Dragon Palace. Xuelang challenged directly. For a time, the eyes of the surrounding audience lit up one after another. The battle of the invincible superior gods. Just now, Duan Lingshan's strength has made them thoroughly confirm that he is indeed an invincible upper god. Chapter 45-35. Xuelang challenged. Immediately, the crowd of onlookers outside the Golden Dragon Hall were in an uproar. And soon, Duan Lingtian also left the inner world of Yuxinia, the main body of the Golden Dragon Hall, and Yakong flew out of the Golden Dragon Hall and confronted Xuelang. Duan Lingtian, you just shot. It shouldn't cost anything, right? Xuelang looked at Duan Lingtian, and the fighting spirit also rose in his eyes. He is one of the two invincible, high-ranking gods in Bibo Tianfu. His strength is strong. Looking at the Bibo Tianfu, under the supreme power, only the invincible high-ranking of the Tianshui Temple can shake his wrist. And now, the Golden Dragon Hall of Bibo Tianfu has accepted Duan Lingtian, a temple guardian disciple whose strength is comparable to that of an invincible superior god. He couldn't help but see the joy of hunting. No consumption. Duan Lingtian looked at Xuelang, and Dandan said, Xuelang, you should know the invincible high-ranking in Tianshui Temple, right? Xuelang nodded, then asked, You want to learn from him too? After you and I have finished discussing, if you want to ask him to discuss, I will arrange it for you. If you think about it, he will not refuse the opportunity to learn from you. Xuelang said, I want to talk to him. Duan Lingtian nodded. Then his eyes narrowed suddenly, and he said slowly, To be precise, I want to learn from the two of you. 1 against 2. 1 against 2. As Duan Lingtian said these words, although the audience gathered more and more, but now they fell into a brief silence. Even Xuelang was stunned. 1 against 2? At this moment, Xuelang even thought that he had heard it wrong. This paragraph of Ling Tian said to use 1 against 2 and learn from Brother Xuelang and Brother Han Qin? Is he crazy? With his own strength, challenge the two invincible superior gods to join forces? I haven't heard of the existence outside the world, and even the 10,000 worlds, which exists under the strongest, with such courage. From my point of view, he is just grandstanding. Now, many people have walked out of the Golden Dragon Hall. The head of the Yanwu Hall, Yuxinia, was on the list. Also, Huangfu Ping, who was easily defeated by Duan Lingtian just now, and Ku Yi, who brought Duan Lingtian to Bibo Tianfu, both came out. Huangfu Ping, although he has recognized Duan Lingshan's strength. However, when Duan Lingtian said that he was going to challenge Xuelang and the invincible superior Han Qin of Tianshui Temple with one enemy, he was still frightened. Transhan said to Ku Yi, "Senior brother, is this Ling Tian crazy? Do you really think you can beat me easily so you can challenge Xuelang and Han Chen with 1 against 2 at the same time?" Now, when Ku Yi heard what his junior brother said, it was rare that he didn't refute. He frowned, feeling that something was wrong. Duan Lingtian. Xuelang finally came back to his senses and looked at Duan Lingtian again, but also became particularly unkind. "If you want to challenge me and Han Qin to join forces, it's not impossible. Before that, though, it's best to show your strength. Defeat me one-on-one first." From Xuelang's unkind tone, he could tell that he was really angry. Can you not be angry? The dignified and invincible superior god Venerable, the ceiling-like figure under the Bibo, Tianfu Supreme Powerhouse, was actually looked down upon by a guy who had just entered Bibo Tianfu and had not yet become the Supreme Powerhouse. Duan Lingtian nodded. He could also see that Xuelang was unwilling to see the Yellow River, and it seemed that only by defeating him first would he be willing to join forces with another invincible superior in Bibo, Tianfu, to learn from him. And the reason why he wanted to play against Xuelang and that Han Qin was because he wanted to further digest the memory Wukong left him by discussing with them. Once the memory is further digested, his space law will go straight to the realm of great perfection. In addition, Kendo will go one step further and officially enter the 7th Order. Duan Lingtian and Xuelang decided on the post-war, decided to go to Bibo Hall to fight. In the Bibo Hall, there is a space plane specially used for sparring and competition. It is not a small world in the body of any one person. Duan Lingtian will fight Xuelang here, and follow Duan Lingtian and Xuelang to Bibo Hall. Behind also followed a group of tails. Even that day, the most powerful Ji Qiushui under the invincible superior god Venerable in the Water Palace left the Golden Dragon Palace and returned to the Tianshui Palace to find her senior brother. Han Qin is her senior brother. "Senior brother, that Duan Lingtian is too arrogant. He even said that he would fight against you and Xuelang with one enemy." Ji Qiushui said angrily to the young man in front of him, a young man wearing a sky-blue robe with a cold face, short hair, and big eyes. At this time, after hearing Ji Qiushui's words, the corner of his mouth could not help but contempt. "So arrogant? I'll go to Bibo Hall with you to see." Where did he have the confidence to let out such wild words? As a person who is as famous as Xuelang in Bibo Tianfu, his strength is not weaker than Xuelang's existence, and Han Qin also has his own pride. And now, his pride was obviously trampled underfoot. If Duan Lingtian was discussing with Huang Fuping in the Golden Dragon Hall, but it was only a small-scale onlooker. So now the battle between him and Xuelang has shaken the entire Bibo Tianfu. As long as Bibo Tianfu is in the station and has nothing in hand, they are basically rushing towards the Bibo Palace. The one who wants to discuss with Xuelang is the disciple of the guardian of the Golden Dragon Palace, who has just been admitted to the Golden Dragon Palace. Yes, it seems to be called Duan Lingtian. He is a monster who has reached the 7th Order threshold of swordsmanship. Before the law of space is perfect, he has the strength comparable to the invincible superior god. It's really not easy to be given a name by the Hall Master Shao of the Golden Dragon Palace. It's really not easy, but it's also arrogant. I heard that he also threatened to challenge Xuelang and Han Qin with 1 against 2 at the same time. So crazy. Xuelang told him that if he wants to fight 1 against 2, he will be defeated first. Xuelang is an invincible high-ranking god. Under the supreme power, there is basically no one who can defeat him. That Duan Lingtian is destined to be unable to realize his dream. The Bibo Hall is located. The vast square was full of people. The surrounding void was also filled with a mighty crowd. In front of the audience, in the void above the square, a mirror image appeared in front of everyone. The two figures stood facing each other. It was Duan Lingtian and Xuelang. Senior brother Han Qin is here. On the same day, the invincible superior god Venerable Han Qin, a disciple of the Water Temple, arrived and immediately attracted the attention of many people. After Han Qin and Ji Qiushui came together, they also joined the crowd. Chapter 45-36. As an invincible high-ranking god, Han Qin is also an absolute celebrity in Bibo Tianfu. His arrival attracted the attention of a group of people. Senior brother Han Qin, the guardian disciple of the Golden Dragon Hall, with the void sword Duan Lingtian, actually threatened to fight you and senior brother Xuelang with one enemy and two. He's simply arrogant and arrogant. Senior brother Han Qin, are you also here to see how Duan Lingtian was slapped in the face? Senior brother Han Qin, after the battle between Duan Lingtian and Xuelang, will you ask Duan Lingtian to play against each other? As soon as Han Qin arrived, many people greeted him. Since Duan Lingtian said that it shows that he is quite confident in his own strength, let's wait and see. Han Qin Dandan smiled. Now your focus should be on Xuelang and Duan Lingtian, not me. The voice fell, and Han Qin's eyes fell on the mirror image in front of him. At this moment, the two people in the mirror image also moved. Although Han Qin spoke modestly, but deep in his eyes, there was still a bit of disdain. Disdain for Duan Lingtian. In his opinion, as an invincible superior god, under the supreme power, no one dares to say that he can beat him. If he joins forces with Xuelang, no one under the power will dare to say that they can be tied with them by one enemy and two, let alone defeat them. Senior brother Han Qin, how long do you think brother Xuelang will be able to prevail? Someone next to him asked Han Qin. Han Qindan said, it's hard to say. After all, I haven't seen it before. Without comprehending the law to the realm of great perfection, there is a superior who is invincible. Kendo touches the seventh order threshold. I also want to see what means he can use. As Han Qin's voice just fell, the two people in the mirror image have completed the first round of tentative confrontation, and they seem to be evenly matched, as if no one is stronger than the other and no one is weaker than the other. Seeing this scene, Han Qin's face became slightly solemn. This Ling Tian's strength was somewhat beyond his expectations. However, what surprised him even more was what Duan Lingtian said next. Do you have this strength? Duan Lingtian looked at Xuelang with disappointment in his eyes. The strength of this Xuelang is similar to that of the invincible superior god Venerable Yao Tianqin that he had previously played against in the place where the old man with no space left to return to the ruins. At the beginning, before he got the memory of the Wukong old man, his strength was no weaker than that of Yao Tianqin. Later, after obtaining the memory of the Wukong old man, his strength improved again. Insanity. Xuelang shouted angrily and shot again. The attack became more and more fierce. As for Duan Lingtian, he didn't hold back at this time. After integrating the memories of the old man Wukong, his improved strength was fully revealed. Stop! 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 In the blink of an eye, a storm of sword light blew up around Duan Lingtian's body, and countless sword lights appeared in the vast void, shrouding Duan Lingtian and Xuelang together. Xuelang's offensive, although continuous, was completely crushed. During the whole process, Duan Lingtian's expression was calm, and he looked extremely relaxed. You are too weak. When a group of people outside looked dumbfounded, Duan Lingtian sighed softly. In an instant, the countless sword lights around him, nearly half of the sword lights close to him, all merged together, turned into a giant sword, and swept toward Xuelang. Boom! In front of this giant sword, Xuelang's offensive was vulnerable to a single blow, and in an instant his entire body was also blown away, blood spurting wildly from his mouth. This scene caused an uproar from the onlookers outside. God, what's the situation? How can that be? Senior Brother Xuelang, he is an invincible, high-ranking god, the strongest existence under the so-called supreme power. Could it be that this Ling Tian is already a supreme power? Duan Ling Tian is not a superpower. His divine power is only the power of a superior god. This is the strength of Kendo to touch the seventh order threshold. Moreover, looking at his space law, it seems that he is not far from the realm of great perfection. This Ling Tian is too terrifying. No wonder it was given a name by the Hall Master Shao of the Golden Dragon Palace. The void sword is endless. The condensed sword breaks the falsehood. He deserves the title of Void Sword. Outside, a group of Bibo Tianfu disciples were shocked by Duan Lingshan's strength, although this is a new disciple who has just entered the Bibo Tianfu. However, in this world where the strong are respected, this concept will not change because the other party is a newcomer. How could he be so strong? Han Chen was also watching, and his face was not very good looking at this time. He stared at the purple figure in the mirror image, and his eyes were not only afraid but also afraid. Too strong. Even he is not sure to deal with each other. Huang Fuping was stunned. Although Duan Lingtian defeated him, he did not think that Duan Lingtian had the strength to defeat Xuelang. Now, seeing Xuelang so miserable, he suddenly realized how blind and arrogant he was before. Ku Yi, who was standing beside Huang Fuping, was also shocked by this incident. He originally thought that Duan Lingshan's strength, even if he was stronger than Xuelang, would not be much stronger. It would not be so easy to defeat Ku Yi. After all, Ku Yi was an invincible, high-ranking god. But now, the scene in front of him has completely subverted his past cognition of the invincible upper goddess. I kept my hand. You are only slightly injured. At this time, in the mirror image, Duan Lingtian spoke again. It shouldn't affect you to have another competition. Go and call Han Chen. Today, I will try 1 against 2, and try the 2 invincible upper gods of Bibo Tianfu. How many caddies and 2 tails are there? Duan Lingshan's words can be said to be very arrogant. If he had crushed and defeated Xuelang, there would have been a lot of scolding. But now, no one thinks he is arrogant. Even the onlookers outside looked at Han Chen subconsciously. Han Chen also came to watch the battle. Now, Duan Lingtian once again challenged Han Chen and Xuelang to join forces. How will Han Chen choose? Senior Brother Han Chen, will you agree? I think there is a high probability. If you fight alone, Senior Brother Xuelang is not Duan Lingshan's opponent, and Senior Brother Han Chen, who is comparable in strength to Senior Brother Xuelang, is naturally the same. Now, there is an opportunity to join forces to deal with Duan Lingtian. He should not miss it. Under the eyes of everyone, Han Chen finally came out of the sky and entered the Bibo Hall directly. Senior Brother Han Chen, is this going to go in? 2 against 1. That's interesting. Although Senior Brother Xuelang was defeated by Duan Lingtian, if he can join hands with Senior Brother Han Chen, he should still be able to win a match. 2 invincible superior gods join forces to deal with a non-superior. If it was before, I would never have dreamed of such a scene. After seeing Han Chen entering the Bibo Hall, there was another sensation outside. In the excited eyes, there is a strong look of anticipation. Chapter 45-37. Han Chen, Xuelang, the 2 invincible superior gods of Bibo Tianfu. In Bibo Tianfu, they are the strongest beings below the strongest. And today, Xuelang was defeated by a non-superior who had just joined Bibo Tianfu. And it's easy to beat. The other party invited Han Chen and Xuelang to fight together. Now Han Chen also entered. Mirror image. Han Chen and Xuelang stood side by side. Standing opposite, it was Duan Lingtian. Why do I think Duan Lingtian might still win? It shouldn't be. Although Senior Brother Xuelang seems to be easily defeated by him, Since he is not the strongest, there should be a limit to how strong he is. I also think that senior brother Han Qin and senior brother Xueleng are teaming up, and he may not be an opponent. The onlookers outside were mainly a group of Bibo Tianfu disciples at first. Gradually, the high-level officials of Bibo Tianfu also arrived quietly. Among them, it also includes the master of Bibo Tianfu, Lord Palace Master. The appearance of Palace Master Bibo Tianfu immediately shocked many high-level officials. However, while they were saying hello, Palace Master Bibo Tianfu made another gesture, telling them not to disturb the others. Watch this battle carefully. Han Qin and Xueleng may be defeated. Hearing the words of their palace master, the high-level officials of Bibo Tianfu all gasped. I also watched the battle just now. Tan Dan, the head of Bibo Tianfu, said, Xueleng's strength is not far from him, but it is not close. Otherwise, he would not be able to defeat Xueleng so easily. In addition, he insisted on asking Han Qin and Xueleng to fight one another, and to fight him, he should also want to use their hands to hone himself. His fight with Xueleng was short-lived. However, it is not difficult to see that his spatial laws have improved again. It's not far from the realm of great perfection. As the palace master of Bibo Tianfu, although he is not a saint of the 6th rank of the strongest, he is also a semi-sage of the 5th rank. With his unique vision, it is not difficult to see this. Good. A stern voice came, and then a figure appeared. It was none other than the master of the Golden Dragon Palace, Xiao Tianci. Hall Master Xiao! Hall Master Xiao! As soon as Xiao Tianci appeared, a group of people took the initiative to salute him, showing awe. Although this Hall Master Xiao is younger than their senior officials of Bibo Tianfu, his strength is stronger than them, not even weaker than their Bibo Tianfu Palace Master. Junior brother Tianci, you came back early? Palace Master Bibo Tianfu was surprised, then frowned slightly. How's the investigation going? Why did those disciples die? It's a forced collision in the land of returning markets. It is suspected that the power of the masters of returning markets is the power. Xiao Tianci sighed and said, As for the reason, no one knows. This time we can be considered as stealing chickens without losing rice. The strong man who left the land of return to the ruins is simply looking for someone to bury him. There was a bit of anger in the eyes of Bibo Tianfu Palace, master's words. This kind of thing can only be considered unlucky. Xiao Tianci sighed. Otherwise how? Not to mention the powerhouses who left the land of ruins. They were all superpowers before the historical partition. They wanted to find each other, but there was nothing they could do, because the other side had already perished. Even if you take 10,000 steps back and say that the other party is not dead, if you find him, can you still settle accounts with him? Are you his opponent? Okay, let's stop talking about this. Let's take a look at the performance of your guardian, disciple of the Golden Dragon Hall. Palace Master Bibo Tianfu's gaze returned to the mirror image in front of him. This time you, the Golden Dragon Palace, have found a treasure. Xiao Tianci heard the words, although his mouth was modest, but the proudness raised at the corners of his mouth could not be concealed. On the other side, the senior officials of Bibo Tianfu had already begun to congratulate Xiao Tianci. Duan Lingtian faced Han Qin, and Xueleng with a calm expression, and Gu Jing had no waves. With a move in my heart, I secretly said, it shouldn't be a problem to beat them. However, my purpose is not as simple as defeating them. I have to rely on them to spar with me. Let them be my whetstones, so that I can further digest the memories left by the Wukong old man, and make my strength further. Because of these thoughts, therefore, after Han Qin and Xueleng took the lead, he just dealt with them as much as possible, and did not directly explode all his strength to seize the upper hand. From an outsider's point of view, Duan Lingtian was faintly at a disadvantage in this instant confrontation. Is Duan Lingtian about to lose? As expected of the two invincible upper gods of our Bibo Tianfu, they are invincible when they join forces. Senior Brother Han Qin and Brother Xuelang are too strong. A group of Bibo Tianfu disciples were extremely excited. Compared to Duan Lingtian's victory, they naturally hoped that Han Qin and Xuelang would win. He didn't use all his strength. As for the powerhouses of Bibo Tianfu, all the existences above the fourth rank of Xian, it is not difficult to see that Duan Lingtian is not doing his best. He didn't even have the strength to easily defeat Xuelang before. Duan Lingtian, use all your strength. Xuelang snorted coldly. At this time he felt humiliated. He joined forces with Han Qin, but he didn't win this Lingtian for a long time. Unlike Xuelang, who had felt Duan Lingtian's true strength, it was certain that Duan Lingtian had left his hand now. When Han Qin heard Xuelang's words, his expression changed slightly. He did not doubt Xuelang's words. He still keeps his hand. For a while, Han Qin became more serious, and Duan Lingtian didn't know if he heard Xuelang's words, and his true strength gradually showed. In this process, whether it was Xuelang or Han Qin, they did everything they could, and even in the end, even the power of blood was motivated by them and showed it. Two violent forces continued to impact Duan Lingtian, and Duan Lingtian, in the duel with the two, kept quickly digesting the memories of the Wukong old man. So it is. It's very simple. Why didn't you find it before? Here, that's how it is. This place is not as complicated as I imagined. Duan Lingtian, in the confrontation with the two, felt the pressure that the two brought him, and absorbed and digested the memories and insights that the old man Wukong left him under the pressure. During the battle, his perception was improving every moment. When his perception has risen to a critical point, and he is about to rush past like a wreck, he forced himself to stop. Can't break through here. Once the breakthrough is made, not only the space law will step into the realm of great perfection, but also the swordsmanship will completely step into the seventh order. By then, even between the historical partitions, the terrifying catastrophe that few high-ranking gods can survive is coming. Thank you both. Duan Lingtian let out a soft drink, and the sword lights in the void all around his body suddenly gathered together, turned into a strong light, and then shone out. It is radiant and exudes extremely terrifying power. In one fell swoop, Han Qin and Xuelang, two invincible high-ranking gods, were sent flying. His current strength is not weaker than the existence of the first order Xian. How is this possible? He is indeed only a high-ranking god. Without entering the powerhouse, has the strength comparable to the powerhouse? How did he do it? In the land outside the realm, and even in the history of all realms, I have never heard of such an alien. The layman watches the fun, the layman watches the doorway. Now, even the palace master of Bibo Tianfu and the palace master of the Golden Dragon Palace are all horrified. Obviously, they were all frightened by Duan Lingtian's last burst of power. Chapter 45:38. After Duan Lingtian went out, he found that Xiao Tianxi, the master of the Golden Dragon Palace, was also there, and he quickly greeted him. Under the leadership of Ku Yi, he arrived at the teleportation array in Bibo Tianfu to Wanjie, sent to the anti-god realm. He wants to go back to the god realm to break through. According to the memory of the empty old man, this breakthrough, it is best to return to the realm where he was born. The power of the realm, to a certain extent, can help you turn your calamity away. Although it's a drop in the bucket, it's better than nothing. Back to the anti-god realm again. The current Duan Lingtian, even the most powerful person who guards a teleportation formation in the anti-god realm, is quite polite to him when he sees him. The last time Duan Lingtian returned with a half-sage, he shocked the entire anti-god realm, causing all the superpowers in the anti-god realm who had originally wanted to fight the Shin Yunquan idea in Duan Lingshan's hands to die. Anti-god realm. Returning to the anti-god realm again, Duan Lingtian thought of the former semi-sacred powerhouse Duan Yuwei without any surprise. Sister Wei, as long as I succeed in this calamity, the day I step into Xi'an is the time for me to avenge you. In Duan Lingshan's eyes, an icy killing intent suddenly burst out, and the cold light flickered, as if it could penetrate the heavens and the world, cross the obstacles of space, and lock the person who killed Duan Yuwei in the past with the memory of the empty old man. Now he can attract the heaven and earth, the seventh order of the four realms, and the great perfection law in one calamity. As long as the calamity is successfully broken, he will become the first existence in the contemporary era of myriad realms to take this step. After taking this step, as long as he steps into the realm of Xi'an, he is directly the existence of the seventh order of Xi'an, enough to push the world horizontally and be invincible in the world. Of course, this is not the end for him. The memory of the empty old man, as long as he further becomes his own, steps into the ninth rank of Xi'an, and even reaches the level of parity with heaven. It is just around the corner. According to the memory of the empty old man, the famous fierce places in the anti-god realm and the three most dangerous fierce places are not exclusive to the anti-god realm, but are connected to the heavens and the world. Azura Hell is one of them. Duan Lingtian is no stranger to Azura Hell. In the past, his master was light-hearted. That is, after escaping into the Azura Hell, he returned with a shocking encounter and regained his position as the Emperor of Heaven. There, his master gained a lot. Even later, he went to that place with his master and successfully walked out of the Time Law Road, and now his Time Law attainments are not low. It's just not as good as the laws of space. Duan Lingtian returned to the god-defying realm. Xiao Mubai, the realm master of the anti-god realm, received the news immediately. However, after learning that Duan Lingtian came back alone, he didn't pay much attention. In his opinion, Duan Lingtian was originally a person from the god-defying realm. It was normal for him to travel back and forth to the god-defying realm. Therefore, even if Duan Lingtian entered the Azura Hell, he did not know. Shura Hell. Thinking that when he entered the Azura Hell there were many crises, but now all the way is unimpeded, Duan Lingtian had to feel that time passed so quickly. In a blink of an eye, he already had the strength he has now. According to the memory of the old man Mukong, even if it is a strong saint, that is, the existence of Jiezun, the existence of the sixth order Xi'an and the power of the soul, compared with the fifth order Xi'an, it is not much stronger. That is to say, even the strongest sage in the world can't get rid of Kir's imprisoned soul. With the existence of the seventh order Xi'an, the soul can be further sublimated. At this level, it is enough to easily let Kir escape the suffering of soul silence. Because of this understanding, therefore, Duan Lingtian is eager to take this critical step. Otherwise, with his character, he would not have provoked and challenged the two invincible superior gods of Bibo Tianfu one after another on the day he entered Bibo Tianfu. Before Duan Lingtian left, he quickly spread the word about defeating the two invincible high-ranking gods of Bibo Tianfu with less than the cultivation of the strongest. The news spread and the quartet shook. All forces know that the Golden Dragon Hall of Bibo Tianfu has reached the seventh order threshold of Kendo, and even the laws of space are about to be consummated. Even in the upper three realms with the most lofty status among the myriad realms, many strong people have received news. However, after receiving the news, they shook their heads in unison. I'm afraid it won't be long before another Tianjiao perishes. The seventh order of the four paths of heaven and earth, the space law of the great perfection realm, cannot coexist. If you step in together, you will be provoking the way of heaven and will be obliterated by the way of heaven. The will of heaven is the will of heaven. The will of heaven cannot be violated. In the upper three realms, for countless years, such existences, although rare, have not never appeared. However, those existences, without exception, all died under the catastrophe. It's as if the way of heaven is not easy for this heaven and earth to have such a heaven-defying existence. In particular, a group of realm powerhouses from the upper three realms. They are even more aware of this. Among them, there are also some people, in fact, the four worlds have also faintly touched the threshold of the seventh order, but they dare not step in, because they all know that once they step in, they will usher in death. Unless the 10,000-year catastrophe that appears becomes more and more unstoppable as the years go by, and you want to take advantage of it, you will generally not provoke the way of heaven. However, the powerhouses in the history of the upper three realms, without exception, all died and vanished. High-ranking gods, taking the step and facing the catastrophe, although far less terrifying than the catastrophe faced by the strongest who took this step. But for the superior gods, it is also a devastating blow. In the past, in our realm, it was not that there was no existence of the upper gods who took this step, but they still died and disappeared. Although the history before the historical partition and the current history are completely disconnected, almost everyone does not know the truth of the year. However, there are still some people who have discovered this problem, and the records have been passed down. Therefore, no one thinks that Duan Lingtian can take the most critical step. They all felt that as long as he dared to take that step, he would surely die. If I were him, I wouldn't try to take that step. Once the four realms of heaven and earth step into the seventh order, the law will be perfect, and it will be forever. Yeah, he might as well separate the relationship between Kendo and space law, and only step into the great perfection of space law, and Kendo will not go any further. In this way, after stepping into the realm of the strongest, he will also be a myriad world, even outside the world, one of the strongest saints and powerhouses. In the current Duan Lingtian, space law and space swordsmanship are integrated, and it is obviously no longer a secret that they promote each other. After all, the high-level officials of Bibo Tianfu are not blind. Naturally, you can see this. In sure as hell, Duan Lingtian found a place near the edge of the anti-god realm, and began to let go of his intentional suppression of Kendo and space laws. Let the swordsmanship and the laws of space go further together. The law of space, great perfection. Kendo, seventh order. There is no need to focus on any one point at all. Now that the restrictions are released, the two will step in together. And at this moment, Duan Lingtian only felt that his soul seemed to have been sublimated in an indescribable and extremely exaggerated way, making his perception seem to have been enhanced several times, or even 10 times at this moment. In an instant, on Duan Lingtian, divine power rose up on his own and turned into a huge sword light. Thousands of tiny sword lights shot out from the surroundings, sweeping across the four directions, causing everything in the four directions to be destroyed. In the blink of an eye, a large vacuum zone appeared around Duan Lingtian's body. That's right, it's a vacuum. This is not Duan Lingtian's intention to shoot. This power. Duan Lingtian began to try to control this force that seemed to be able to destroy the world. And in this very moment, boom, boom, suddenly there was a roar that seemed to be able to pierce the sky, but it was the calamity that wanted to kill Duan Lingtian and other abnormal numbers. My power I want to control, are you still reluctant? Tian Dao, is it so domineering? Duan Lingtian's eyes flashed with chills, and with a cold smile, he continued to control the power of qualitative change in his body, ignoring the threat of heavenly Dao at all. And with Duan Lingtian doing this, the movement on the horizon is even bigger. It seems to carry the power of the world-destroying power, swept in from outside the God-defying realm. Humph! And Duan Lingtian, who had been prepared for a long time, suddenly stared at his eyes, and all the strength that was ready to go swept out. The whole person stands in the void. In his hands, the raging power condensed and finally turned into a sword that exudes a breathtaking breath. Chapter 4539. Bring it on, Dash. The current Duan Lingtian seems to have transformed into an incomparable sword god. Raising his hand is a sword. Raising his foot is a sword. His eyes are also a sword. And the whole body is full of swords. He seemed to be in a sea of swords. Hundreds of millions of sword lights. All obeyed the orders of the of swords. This is the 7th rank of Kendo. This is the space law of the great perfection realm. The void filled with sword beams, with Duan Lingshan's thought. The space is under his control, constantly vibrating, folding and collapsing, as if doing whatever he wants. There are memories of the empty old man. Duan Lingtian felt both unfamiliar and familiar with this brand new power. It seems to have been easy to control. The current him, whether in state or strength, is not weaker than the old Wukong, old man of the year, facing the certain death catastrophe in front of him. Even he still has the experience of the empty old man facing this kind of catastrophe. You may be able to kill almost all the high-ranking gods who have taken this step, but it's impossible to kill me. Duan Lingtian raised his head and looked at the power of thunder that swept down from another area of Azura hell outside the god realm. His eyes were extremely silent. Boom! Boom! There were thunderous sounds, as if there was a heaven-defying existence, roaring filial piety there, rebuking Duan Lingshan's behavior. Duan Lingtian knew that this was the filial piety of heaven. Heaven, do not allow this era to appear again that may threaten his existence. Duan Lingtian takes the current step, and if he moves forward, it will become a matter of course. When it comes to the end, it is not impossible to become another empty old man, or even surpass the existence of the empty old man. At that time, it will be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with the Tao of Heaven, and even surpass the Tao of Heaven. Heavenly Tao, how could it allow such an existence to grow up smoothly? The catastrophe has come. The thunder and lightning rolled, as if to destroy the world. However, when the calamity entered the Shura hell and crossed the space barrier of the god-defying realm, it was consumed by a force. Is this the power of the realm? Duan Lingshan's eyes flashed, and he guessed what the power was that consumed the power of heaven for him. The power of the realm. And the power of the realm was also consumed a lot in an instant. A time, in the anti-god realm, a group of supreme powers also felt the vibration and consumption of the power of the realm. What's the situation? Why did the power of the realm suddenly disappear so much? Could it be that some outsiders attacked us against the god realm? The anti-god realm leads to the outside world, and there is a formal space channel. If the aborigines of the anti-god realm are strong enough, they can forcibly break the space barrier and return to the anti-god realm, and in the process, they will not be blocked by the power of the realm, because the power of the realm recognizes him as own. However, if they were not the aborigines of the god-defying realm, they would encounter the rejection of the power of the realm if they wanted to take the informal channel. Unless the strength is strong enough to give back all the power of the realm that is obstructed in front of him in one go, it is almost impossible to break into the anti-god realm. Moreover, over the years, the realm power of the anti-god realm has been supplemented and improved by the realm power of the subordinate realms. Those subordinate realms of the god-defying realm, because their realm power and the realm of the god-defying realm are integrated into one, so the aborigines of the god-defying realm can also easily enter those subordinate realms. For example, when Duan Lingtian left the anti-god realm for the first time, before entering the outside world for the first time, he once visited a subordinate realm of the anti-god realm, Roundabout. The consumption of the power of this realm is located in the Azura hell. As the world master of the anti-god realm, Xiao Mubai naturally guarded the anti-god realm all the time. After sensing the movement, he immediately followed the movement and entered the Azura hell. He has also been to this place in the Shura region many times, so not unfamiliar. Soon, He came to the place where the movement happened. That is, although they were far apart, Xiao Mubai could still clearly see that the figure in the center of the storm in the distance was the Duan Lingtian he had only seen not long ago. Duan Lingtian he. Seeing Duan Lingtian bathed in the thunder punishment of heavenly tribulation, his body was turbulent like a sword, and the whole person was like a sharp sword. This is not an ordinary catastrophe. Xiao Mubai quickly confirmed this. Duan Lingtian is not the strongest yet. He can also confirm this. However, the current Duan Lingshan's combat power in his eyes is definitely not weaker than the average Xian First Order, and even stronger than most Xian Second Order. How is this possible? Even if it is as strong as the invincible Upper God Venerable, the strength is not as strong as the first rank of the strongest. And now, Duan Lingtian, who has obviously not yet stepped into the Xian, has shown a strength comparable to the Second Order Xian. How could this not shock Xiao Mubai? Could it be? Xiao Mubai was no ordinary semi-sage. His age is considered young among the contemporary half-sages in the myriad realms, and even beyond the realms. Could it be? His swordsmanship has entered the Seventh Order. Thinking of this possibility, Xiao Mubai couldn't help taking a deep breath, looking forward again, full of horror. Call! Call! I don't know when, next to Xiao Mubai, two more old figures appeared. Is this Duan Lingtian? One of them asked Xiao Mubai. Xiao Mubai didn't expect that even these two old fellows who had been sleeping in seclusion all the year round were alarmed by Duan Lingshan's movement this time, even out of the gate. Yes. Xiao Mubai nodded. He's not the strongest yet. The catastrophe he is facing now is even stronger than the previous 10,000-year catastrophe that the strongest need to face. With such a strong catastrophe, how could he still have the upper hand? These two are the other two semi-sages in the anti-god realm, and they are the kind of semi-sages with dark wounds. The last 10,000-year catastrophe seriously injured them. Of course, they are also very old. The next 10,000-year catastrophe, they have no confidence that they can survive. Duan Lingtian, he should have understood the 7th rank of Kendo. In addition, his space law should be completely integrated with Kendo, and he has already stepped into the realm of great perfection. Xiao Mubai looked at the front with a dignified expression. He usually seemed steady, but his voice now trembled a little. He stepped into the Forbidden Realm. Forbidden Realm. Once you enter, you will be obliterated by heaven. After the historical separation, there are not many people who have stepped into this realm, but there are still some. And those people, without exception, were all killed by the heavenly tribulation, thunder punishment. Because of this, insiders like Xiao Mubai call that realm a forbidden realm. Forbidden Realm. One of the 4 realms of heaven and earth comprehends the 7th level, not touching the threshold, but completely stepping into the 7th level. At the same time, incorporating that kind of law of the 4 realms of heaven and earth also steps into the realm of great perfection. Both are indispensable. Satisfying both is a forbidden state. Chapter 4540. Forbidden Realm. I feel that his vigor and blood are majestic and he looks young. So young, he has such achievements. Are we people from the God-defying realm? If we are not the people of the God-defying realm, how can we be protected by the power of the realm of our God-defying realm? Even if there is the protection of the power of the realm, it is generally difficult for people who step into the taboo realm to completely stop the calamity of this taboo realm. How could he be so relaxed? Several ancient beings in the God-defying realm, while whispering for a while, looked at Xiao Mubai again. They were puzzled. While they were sleeping, such an existence appeared in the anti-god realm. Didn't Xiao Mubai remind the other party not to easily step into the forbidden realm? In the past, Xiao Mubai's father, because before the imminent arrival of the unstoppable 10,000-year calamity, no longer suppressed it and forcibly stepped into the taboo realm, so that he died and disappeared. In the anti-God realm, after the historical separation, although there has not been a case of a non-powerful person stepping into a forbidden realm. However, there are many such cases in the realm outside the realm, and even in all realms, without exception, all dead body. Yes, those are all high-ranking gods, and they all died under the taboo realm. Looking at the performance of this little guy, it's really possible to survive the calamity of this forbidden realm. If he can successfully cross the calamity and step into the realm of the strongest in the future, wouldn't he be directly the existence of the 7th rank of the strong? Several old antiques from the anti-God realm took a deep breath after discussing this. Xiao Mubai also glanced at them at this time, and both saw the heat and excitement in each other's eyes. The 7th rank of the strongest. This realm, once you step into it, look beyond the realm, and even the 10,000 realms, it will definitely be called invincible. At that time, the anti-God realm, because of the emergence of such an existence, will surpass any realm in the myriad realms, and will become the leader of the myriad realms, and the upper 3 realms will be ranked at the back. To know, outside the world, and even the contemporary world, the strongest, that is, the existence of the 6th rank of the strongest. That is the Jie Zun realm powerhouse. Outside the realm is the Saint powerhouse. In today's anti-God realm, in the eyes of many people from the realm of the world, there's still a realm where a strong person from the realm of the realm sits. In fact, in the anti-God realm, there has long been no real world powerhouse. Xiao Mubai's father died many years ago. The reason why he hid the news was because he was worried that if the news spread, it would bring difficulties to the anti-God realm. Any realm in the world is a competitive relationship with each other. A powerful realm will suppress the weak realm and even make it its own subsidiary realm. For example, under the anti-God realm, they have conquered many weak realms as their subordinate realms. Certainly, this news can be hidden for a while, but not forever. I'm afraid it won't be long before there will be some powerhouses from other realms who will come to the anti-God realm to explore the truth and see if the realm powerhouse of the anti-God realm is still there. The anti-God realm has long hidden dangers. Over the years, the reason why Xiao Mubai has paid attention to some genius monsters and even spent a lot of effort to help is to make more powerful people born in the God-defying realm. I even long for the appearance of a real world powerhouse in it. Duan Lingtian was also one of the talented and powerful people Xiao Mubai took a fancy to. Of course, in addition to this, Xiao Mubai is also working hard to improve his strength. If he wants to step into the realm of the realm as soon as possible, then he can have enough strength to protect the realm of the gods. And now, at this moment, Xiao Mubai and the other half-step realm powerhouses in the anti-God realm were placed outside the realm as half-step saints, the 5th-tier supreme powerhouses. Looking at Duan Lingtian, who was transcending the tribulation, his eyes and face the excitement on the board is obvious. Several seniors, Duan Lingtian's tribulation movement is not small. I am afraid that even the rest of the world will feel it. Xiao Mubai looked at a few people and said solemnly, "Next, let's do our best to help Duan Lingtian hide. Otherwise, if people from other realms, or even the upper 3 realms, know that there is an existence in our God-defying realm who is expected to pass the taboo realm, they will definitely not let him grow up. Going through the robbery of the Forbidden Realm is equivalent to getting the pass of the Xion's 7th rank, even if it is only the upper God. After this calamity has passed, the laws of great perfection and the 7th order heaven and earth have converged into one body. As long as you step into the realm of the strongest, you are directly the existence of the 7th order of the strongest. At that time, it will be directly outside the world and even the strongest in the world. Enough to push the world horizontally, invincible. Not bad. Don't let him be exposed. Other realms, how can it be the upper 3 realms? It is absolutely impossible for us to allow us to appear in the God-defying realm to survive the taboo realm. I'm afraid it's hard to hide this matter, but we can set up some blindfolds on this basis. Just as Xiao Mubai thought, although Duan Lingtian was in the realm of the God-defying realm in Shurahel, because the forbidden realm came from outside the God-defying realm, he quickly attracted the attention of outsiders, especially the upper three realms. In the upper three realms, it didn't take long to know about this. Over the years, although the upper three realms are above the myriad realms and are the three most powerful realms in the myriad realms, they are always prepared for danger and staring at other realms, especially the 18 middle realms, including the defying God realm. So, on the side of the anti-God realm, there was a big movement of Duan Lingtian's tribulation, and the person in charge of the tracking on the upper three realms quickly discovered it. When the news was sent back to the upper three realms, the 3.5-step realm venerables of the fifth order Xeon in the upper three realms, who were responsible for this piece of docking, also personally crossed the space and came to the vicinity of the anti-God realm, looking at the amazing catastrophe in the distance. This catastrophe is not a 10,000-year catastrophe faced by the strongest. This seems to be a robbery in the forbidden realm. In the anti-God realm, is there a superior who has taken this step and ushered in this mortal catastrophe? For the upper three worlds, although the taboo realm catastrophe is rare, it is not a secret. In the upper three realms, every once in a while, there will be one or two amazing beings, the kind of beings that have the ability to attract the taboo realm. Certainly, this kind of existence, it is impossible to choose to take a critical step which will lead to the calamity of the taboo realm, because in the history of the upper three realms, no one has been able to successfully survive the heavenly tribulation of the taboo realm. This catastrophe is also known as the death catastrophe. Save a life. As soon as you step into the realm of the strongest, you are directly the powerhouse of the sixth order realm of the super strong. Isn't it fragrant? Why take such a big risk to cross the robbery? However, although I know that this is a catastrophe, the three of them still sent the news back to their respective realms, so that the realm powerhouses in their realm would know about it. Chapter 45-41. The Upper Three Realms, as the three strongest realms among the 10,000 realms, have consolidated their transcendent status in various ways since ancient times. The following 18 realms have always been the targets of their suppression. Of course, if they could, they would also like to suppress the 18th realm and even reduce it to their own subsidiary realm. However, because the 18 realms support each other, even if they have this heart, it is difficult for them to realize their dream. However, although they cannot suppress the middle 18 realms, their surveillance of the middle 18 realms has never stopped. Now, the changes on the side of the anti-God realm were immediately known to them. The God-defying realm in the middle 18 realms, following the last time someone realized the way of time and kendo to the point where they touched the threshold of the seventh order. This time, someone simply stepped into the seventh order of the four worlds. People from the God-defying realm, the superior gods who crossed the taboo realm, also understood the way of swordsmanship, the seventh level of swordsmanship. Could it be the successor of the sword of time in the past? Even though this is a calamity of death, it is impossible for people from the God-defying realm to survive. But you still have to keep an eye on it. Humph! I'll go and see for myself. What is the holy place of the upper gods who have comprehended swordsmanship to the seventh rank in the anti-God realm? In the upper three realms, 2 or 3 figures each cross the boundary. These existences, without exception, are all strong in the realm of the world, equivalent to the existence of the strong saints in the land outside the world. They, spanning various realms, watched closely the changes in the God-defying realm. It's really that the upper gods have attracted the forbidden realm of catastrophe. Humph! Under such a catastrophe, he will surely die. After the historical separation, I haven't heard of anyone who can take this step. In history, there have been many high-ranking gods who have taken this step, but in the end, they all died. One after another, torch-like gazes passed through the space barriers and landed in the direction of the anti-god realm. In their eyes, the sky thunders rolling in the distance, and the calamity is surging. But under the calamity, a figure was shaky. After a moment, they saw that the figure suddenly disappeared, and the catastrophe, after shaking for a period of time, also disappeared out of thin air, dead. The Tao of heaven is irreversible. The Tao of heaven cannot allow beings who master the law of great perfection and the seventh order heaven and earth to exist at the same time. Those superpowers in the God-defying realm are too stupid. It is rare for such a genius to appear in their realm, and they even let him take risks. If you don't take risks, as long as you step into the superpower, you will be a real-world powerhouse. Perhaps the anti-god realm wants to have a seventh-order Xeon existence in their own family. After all, they already have a Xeon sixth-order existence. It seems that the old guy of the sixth rank of Xeon in the anti-god realm is still alive, and his strength should be improved again. Otherwise, it is impossible to live to the present. The powerhouses of the upper three worlds, when communicating with the people around them, also came from where, and where did they go back? The old guy of the sixth rank of the God-defying realm Xeon in their mouths is the former Jia Zun realm powerhouse of the God-defying realm, and the father of the current God-defying realm world master Xiao Mubai. Of course, Xiao Mubai's father had long since died, but the news has been kept secret so far. It is impossible for the powerhouses of the upper three realms to think of. Today, the existence of the God-defying realm who challenged the taboo realm grew up outside the realm, but only temporarily returned to the God-defying realm to survive the calamity, and they're even less likely to think. What they saw just now was just an illusion arranged by a group of half-step world respected powerhouses from the anti-god realm, including Xiao Mubai, the anti-god realm, and the half-step realm of the realm joined forces, to reluctantly set up an illusion that could hide the power of the realm of the upper three realms. Certainly, it is also because the realms of the upper three realms are far away. Otherwise, it will be difficult to hide from them. And they were not surprised by this result, because it was all they expected. Against God realm, Shura Hell, Duan Lingtian, relying on the experience left by the Wukong old man, successfully passed through the calamity of the Forbidden Realm. In the end, these spatial forces converged into a sword on the surface of his body, and the sword light shot straight into the sky, as if to pierce the sky. If it wasn't for the half-step realm powerhouses who were present to block the scene, I'm afraid it would be difficult to hide the sky and the sea, hide the upper three realms and the realm powerhouses in the surrounding realm who are eager to move. Although it is still a high-ranking god, but it feels like the soul has been sublimated in a strange way. Duan Lingtian gradually came back to his senses, feeling the changes in his body. The divine power did not change, but the space swordsmanship was a step further, and it was perfectly integrated with the space laws of the great perfection. In a single thought, the perfect space law combined with the seventh order swordsmanship, fierce and unparalleled as if invincible. Next, what I'm going to do. It's stepping into Xeon. As long as I step into the realm of Xeon, I will be enough to step into the seventh level of Xeon. Once he steps into the seventh rank of Xeon, it also means that his strength will surpass that of the outer world, and even all the contemporary Xeons in the world. As far as the current situation is concerned, if I want to become a Xeon, there are two ways to go. The first way is to step into the Xeon through the Tree of Life. The second way is to step into the Xeon through the 5 elements gods. Both paths can help him step into Xeon. Compared with the former, the latter is slightly less difficult. Just let the gods of the 5 elements grow to their final form. For the former, it is necessary to devour the life force of other divine trees of life to strengthen one's own divine tree of life. And the divine tree of life is generally only found in the small world within the body of the strongest. Now, his strength may not be weaker than that of the weakest, but once his true strength is revealed, he will definitely be lost. From this moment, until I step into the realm of Xian. I must keep a low profile and keep a low profile. Otherwise, there must be many people in the land outside the world, and even those strong sixth-order Xians in the world, and there must be no existence in this world that is stronger than them. Tomato Novel Network in this world. Who doesn't want to be the boss, the most powerful group of people? Being the boss for so many years. Now, some people are expected to grow beyond themselves, and how many people can tolerate it? Thank you, Xiao Jieju. Thank you, seniors. Duan Lingtian, who took a deep breath, came back to his senses, looked at Xiao Mubai, and a few others bowed and saluted. Although he was in the calamity just now, he still noticed the actions of Xiao Mubai and others and guessed the intention of their actions, which was purely to protect him. Otherwise, there might be a lot of realm powerhouses from the middle 18th realm and the upper 3 realms who came to kill him now. Chapter 45-42. After Duan Lingtian thanked Xiao Mubai and the others, several people have not had time to respond to Duan Lingtian. Suddenly, above the sky, there was a sudden burst of thunder, like a giant beast roaring filial piety. Then, under the eyes of Duan Lingtian, who raised his head subconsciously, the space barrier above the sky suddenly became transparent. In the distance, the layers of space barriers in the distance are also transparent. At a glance, it seems to be able to penetrate through countless space barriers and see the deepest part. How is this going? What's the situation? How come the space barrier in this direction has become transparent? Obviously, the space barrier is still there and has not become weak, but it has become transparent. At this moment, even Xiao Mubai and the others who had lived for a long time and had lived for a long time were still full of doubts. This is the first time they have seen such a scene in their life. After living for so long, an ominous premonition, faintly rose in Duan Lingtian's heart. After all, this was after he had just successfully survived the tribulation. Such a sudden change is not a good sign, and when Duan Lingtian and the others were puzzled, whether it is in the anti-God realm or in other realms of myriad realms, even out of bounds, all people, all lives, as long as they look up at the sky at this time, they will see that the sky has changed. It's transparent. One after another, transparent space barriers are presented in front of everyone's eyes. What's the situation? What happened? What happened? Not only are all sentient beings puzzled and shocked, even sentient beings outside the world also don't know what the scene that appears in the sky in front of them means. I have lived for tens of thousands of years, and this is the first time I have seen such a scene. What is going on here? I've read many ancient books and secrets, but I've never heard that the sky will become like this. Did something happen? At this moment, whether it is the life of the world or the life outside the world, all those who are not in retreat, but those who notice the abnormal scene in the sky, all look up to the sky. In full view, behind the sky, behind the layers of transparent space barriers, billowing dark clouds suddenly appeared, accompanied by a deafening roar. Lightning and thunder appear. Then, on the edge of the dark cloud, a layer of golden light suddenly appeared, and the golden light appeared at once and finally gathered into a text that all living beings can understand. Congratulations to Duan Lingtian, the high-ranking in the God-defying realm, who has successfully passed through the taboo realm and is expected to become the first high-ranking 7th-rank powerhouse after the historical partition, surpassing Jesuin and saints. When this line of text appeared, most people were at a loss. Forbidden Realm Catastrophe? What is that? Duan Lingtian, the high-ranking in the anti-God realm? Who is it? Do not know. But, although most of these people don't know what it is and what it means, however, the 7th rank of the Xian, as well as being above Jiazun and saints, there are still many people who know what this means. Wanjia, is there going to be an existence above the world and saints? Outside the world, many strong people took a breath of cold air. Duan Lingtian of the God-defying realm? It's not the upper 3 realms. this anti-God realm, I remember it is the realm of the 18th realm. However, when those who know what the Forbidden Realm catastrophe means, at this time they all changed in color. In particular, the powerhouses from the upper three realms who came to watch Duan Lingtian transcend the tribulation. As soon as I returned to their respective realms, before I was hot, I saw this heavenly word that suddenly appeared. When they reach the realm of their cultivation, they naturally know that the only one who has the means to show such words to all beings in the world, and even beyond the world, is the aloof Tao of heaven. That high ranking in the anti-God realm actually succeeded in transcending the calamity. How did he get through the robbery in the Forbidden Realm? Damn, we've been tricked. A group of experts in the realm of the upper three realms felt that they had been deceived, and then Chi was furious and set off to break out of the realm again. In an instant, one after another figure appeared in the area where Duan Lingtian had crossed the tribulation before. The Shura Hell, which connects multiple realms, has become lively at this moment, with the arrival of the powerhouses of the upper three realms. In the 18 realms, there are also many strong people who cross the border. However, when they came out, there were more to watch the fun. Soon, Xiao Mubai and the half-step world respecters of the God-defying realm faced off against all the powerhouses in the world. At this moment, whether it was Xiao Mubai or the few half-step world respecters around Xiao Mubai, they felt a pressure inexplicably. In front of him, only the experts in the realm of Jiazun are no less than 20, and it's still increasing. Against God realm, hand over the person who passed through the Forbidden Realm. A sturdy and tall figure stepped out into the sky, and wherever it passed, the terrifying aura raged, causing many nearby half-step world respecters to retreat. It's the realm powerhouse Lei Hong of the Mingguang realm. Someone recognized the person and exclaimed, Lei Hong, the three most powerful realms of all realms. One of the upper three realms, the realm powerhouses in the Mingguang realm, became famous very early and their strength is strong. Inverse God realm, if you don't want to be broken, hand over that Duan Lingtian. Defying the God realm, hand over the people, or the realm will be destroyed today. In the other two realms of the upper three realms, at this time, there are also real-world experts walking out slowly. The powerful pressure, like mountains, enveloped Xiao Mubai and the others, causing them to spit out a few mouthfuls of blood. Half-step Jiazun, in front of these powerful Jiazun realm who have been famous for many years, is too weak after all. There was a hint of helplessness in Xiao Mubai's eyes. Such a big thing happened. It is naturally impossible for the strong saints in the land outside the world to not pay attention to the side of the God-defying realm. Even in the Bibo Tianfu that Duan Lingtian had joined, a strong sage walked out and brought two people with him, one of whom was the master of the Golden Dragon Palace, Xiao Tianxi. At this time, Xiao Tianxi's eyes were also very complicated. Duan Lingtian actually did it. Such a crucial step has been taken. This time, if he can escape the catastrophe and when he becomes a superpower, he will be the first superpower seventh-order existence in the world, and even beyond the realm. Thinking of this, Xiao Tianxi's heart burst into flames. After all, he and Duan Lingtian have a pretty good relationship. I really didn't expect that such a genius and evildoer would turn out to be my Bibo Tianfu disciple. The sage powerhouse of Bibo, Tianfu sighed softly. I hope he will stay away from the God-defying realm and hide when the Taoist words appear that day. Otherwise, I'm afraid that with the destruction of the God-defying realm, I will die together and disappear. Chapter 45-43 Break the World. Xiao Mubai wiped the blood from the corners of his mouth, stood up, stared at the realm experts in the upper three realms. His face was not frightened, and even smiled. You strong men in the upper three realms, are you sure you want to take action against us in the God-defying realm? When the voice fell, he raised his hand, and a floating shadow bead appeared. One after another floating shadow mirror flashed out. A purple proud figure appeared in front of everyone. At this moment, this young man dressed in purple, with a handsome face and extraordinary temperament, was staring indifferently in the direction of the powerhouses in the upper three realms. "I, Duan Lingtian, speak here. If any god realm suffers any damage because of my success in transcending the calamity, if I go against the strong in the god realm, I will be obliterated by others. The day when I, Duan Lingtian, step into the 7th rank of the Xian will be the time when I will kill all the 6th order Xians from all walks of life, and even beyond the world. You can take it lightly. So, please." The voice fell, and Duan Lingshan's figure disappeared from the floating image. Xiao Mubai stared at a group of realm powerhouses in the upper three realms with a sarcastic smile, only to see that everyone on the other side changed their expressions, and their faces were extremely ugly. Even the bright light world powerhouse Lei Hong, who had previously acted aloofly and looked up to, turned gloomy for a moment, turned around and left without saying a word. Destroying the god realm and destroying all sentient beings in the god realm is not difficult for them. However, as it stands now, Duan Lingtian had obviously left the anti-god realm. If Duan Lingtian is safe, even if the anti-god realm is destroyed, Duan Lingtian should become the existence of the 7th rank of Xian, and he can still succeed, and there will be no changes. And once Duan Lingtian steps into the 7th rank of Xian, he will no longer be invincible when looking at this world. At that time, even if he wants to destroy the upper three realms, no one can stop him. The 7th order Xian and the 6th order Xian are a watershed like a chasm. In the past, there was the existence of the 6th order Xian, and he was seriously injured in the return to the ruins, left by the 7th order Xian before the historical partition, and almost died. That was still the 7th order Xian strong before the historical partition, but the power of returning to the ruins he left behind made the current powerhouse of the Xian 6th order almost perish. The power of the 7th order Xian can be imagined. Reijian is gone. Mingguang Jie thought and followed. The place was dead silent. No one dared to ignore the message from that person in the floating shadow mirror just now. Perhaps now he is just a small high-ranking god, and anyone present can easily handle him and kill him. However, as long as he steps into the realm of Xian, he is in existence above the 6th order Xian, Xian's 7th order powerhouse. After the historical partition, there has never been such a strong person. Follow the people of Mingguang realm. People from the other 2 realms of the upper 3 realms also left one after another. For a while, only the powerhouses from the outside world who arrived later, and the powerhouses from the other 17 realms in the 18th realm were left. Xiao Jeju, congratulations and congratulations. Among them, there are many people who are acquainted with Xiao Mubai, the world master of the anti-god realm, through voice transmission to congratulate Xiao Mubai. As for opening congratulations, who dares? Aren't you afraid of being settled by the powerhouses of the upper 3 realms? The powerhouses of the upper 3 realms may not dare to do anything against the god-defying realm due to the threat of Duan Lingtian, a rookie of the god-defying realm, but they have no qualms about doing so, who made Duan Lingtian not exist in their realm. The powerhouses of the 18 realms slowly dispersed. The powerhouses who came from behind the world also gradually dispersed. Even the strong sage from Bibo Tianfu knew that Duan Lingtian was still a disciple of Bibo Tianfu, but he didn't dare to have too much contact with the half-step world lords of the anti-god realm. Who knows if the realm powerhouses of the upper 3 realms will settle accounts in the autumn, seeing a group of wolves come and go quickly. Xiao Mubai and the others breathed a sigh of relief, and then smiled at each other. I hope Duan Xiaoyu will step into the realm of Xian as soon as possible. Now, these old antiques don't dare to call Duan Lingshan's name directly, because they know that once Duan Lingtian breaks through, he will be above them. I didn't expect it to make him come to the front. Xiao Mubai smiled. At the same time, there are also many people who know Duan Ling Tian, who are shocked because of the heavenly words. Like the wind, Feng Qingyang also took the last step and was about to find someone to go to the calamity. Unexpectedly, I saw the sudden text of heavenly Tao. Little God, he successfully crossed the robbery. The upper God succeeded in transcending the tribulation. Feng Qingyang smiled wryly. I'm not competent enough as a goddess. After all, I let my disciples get to that point first. I have to hurry up too. With a thought, Feng Qingyang stepped into the teleportation formation. Duan Ling Tian? At this moment, in the anti-god realm, everyone who knew Duan Ling Tian was a little confused. Forbidden realm? What is that? Most of them don't know what that means. Only the superpowers of the god-defying realm know what the forbidden realm means. However, although many people don't know what that means, but being able to let Tian Dao drop the words, it can be seen that this matter is not simple. Duan Ling Tian, amazing! This little guy, I didn't expect to grow to such a level. It's really surprising. Duan Ling Tian has come this far. Everyone who had an intersection with Duan Ling Tian in the past was amazed, but those who had a gap with Duan Ling Tian all changed their expressions. Out of bounds, in a ruined city, a femininity youth whose arms shook and blood left his body rose from the sky. His face changed for a while. Duan Ling Tian? How could he have taken this step? Impossible, impossible. This feminine young man, after muttering to himself, seemed to be insane, turned into a stream of light, and disappeared in place. And this person is no one else. It is the Yun Qinyan that is integrated with the Soul Clan. To be precise, he is now called Yun Xinfeng. It must be a dream, must be dreaming. But I haven't slept dash, beyond the world and even the world. It hasn't been quiet for a few days. On the horizon, the vision reappears. A familiar scene made everyone tremble. What's going on? Tian Dao text is about to appear again. Duan Ling Tian has stepped into the 7th rank of Xian so quickly. When many people thought that it was Duan Ling Tian who stepped into the 7th rank of Xian, so heavenly Tao came to inform again. The new Tian Dao text also appeared in front of each of them in a timely manner. Congratulations to the mid-ranking gods of the god-defying realm, who has successfully passed through the taboo realm, and is expected to become one of the only 2 supreme 7th-order powerhouses after the historical partition, surpassing the world and the saints. Chapter 45-44. The text of the Way of Heaven is reproduced. Many people thought at first that they were here to convey the news that Duan Ling Tian had stepped into the Xian 7th level, but they didn't expect such a piece of news about another person. What's the situation? Inverse God Realm. This is a group to cross the taboo realm? And have they all succeeded? This Feng Qingyang, who is only a mid-level god, has cultivated the power of the law to the state of great perfection. And the 4 paths of heaven and earth have also stepped into the 7th level. Are you kidding me? Inverse God Realm. What taboo realm has been mastered to break the tribulation's secret realm? When the words about Feng Qingyang's passage through the taboo realm of heavenly tribulation appeared before the eyes of everyone in the 10,000 realms, and even the people outside the realm, everyone was shocked by it. All the powerhouses in the upper 3 realms even changed their faces drastically. Last time, when Duan Ling Tian crossed the tribulation, they also received news. This time, the wind crossed the tribulation lightly, but they did not receive any news beforehand. Obviously, they found a secluded place to cross the tribulation. Of course, even if he didn't find a secluded place to cross the catastrophe, he is only a middle-ranked god. And the power of the catastrophe ushered in is limited, so it's normal that he can't make too much noise. Inverse God Realm. What secrets have you discovered? Otherwise, how could people have survived the so-called impossible taboo realm, heavenly tribulation one after another? Nye God realm, this is about to take off. When these two people have stepped into the 7th level of the strongest, the God-defying realm won't directly overwhelm us in the upper 3 realms. Even if there is only one person, we in the upper 3 realms are destined to be inferior to the God realm. Although they saw the words of the Tao of Heaven, the people in the upper 3 realms did not move this time. Looking for trouble in the God-defying realm? What a joke! Didn't you see Duan Lingshan's threat not long ago? Unless Duan Lingtian can be found and killed before he breaks through. Otherwise, who would dare to act recklessly against the God realm? Middle 18 realms. Another strong man from the 17th realm ran to the Nishan realm again to congratulate all the acquaintances in the Nishan realm. Master Shao, your Nishan realm is really about to take off this time. The two of them survived the taboo realm. How did they do it? The Nishan realm will be the best friend of our Huayu realm in the future. Anyone who dares to be an enemy of the Nishan realm will be an enemy of our Huayu realm. In this world, what has always been lacking are people who give charcoal in a timely manner, not people who are icing on the cake. Faced with the flattery of a group of strong people, the group of the most powerful people in the God-defying realm headed by Shao Mubai, the lord of the God-defying realm, just responded politely to each other and sent them away like a panacea. After sending people away, even Shao Mubai's eyes were full of surprise. The two masters and apprentices really gave me a big surprise this time. I just don't know where that Feng Qingyang survived the catastrophe. If it is he witnessed Duan Lingtian crossing the taboo realm, he witnessed it with his own eyes, and he has some expectations and guesses. He really didn't know about Feng Qingyang's side. It was a total surprise. Master Shao, no matter where he crossed the catastrophe, he is a member of our God-defying realm. A supreme being against the God realm laughed. That's right, there are 2 existences in our Nishan realm who have survived the taboo realm and catastrophe. Once they step into the Xian, they will directly be the existence of the 7th level, overwhelming the world and shaking the land outside the world. I really didn't expect that there would be such a day in the God-defying realm. When that time comes, our Nishan realm will leap to become the most transcendent realm in the 10,000 realms. What about the upper 3 realms? All while playing. Many of the most powerful men who followed behind Shao Mubai's eyes turned brightly. I got some information in my heart. That is, next they will check Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang's growth trajectory in the Nishan realm, and the people or forces they have made friends with, they can take care of them. As for the people or forces who have offended the 2 of them, they will all be suppressed. In this way, it can be regarded as a good relationship with the 2. Of all this, no matter whether it is Feng Qingyang or Duan Lingtian, they naturally don't know. Against God realm, the land left by the gods. Xia family. Xia Jia was ecstatic when he saw the words of the Tao of Heaven twice. I didn't expect that it wasn't just Xiao Tian who took that step. Even his master has taken that step. Shuer is saved. At this moment, Xia Yu, the head of the Xia family, was also convinced. Although Duan Lingshan's son-in-law has long been recognized, but now that his son-in-law has achieved such achievements, even his master is about to become the top existence in the myriad worlds, and even beyond. He suddenly felt that he was really blind in the past. Or, my 3rd brother has a good vision. Still, my daughter has a good eye. At the same time, people in Nishan realm who are close to Duan Lingtian and who know of Feng Qingyang's existence are also happy for Duan Lingtian and the others, the outer worlds. In the sky above the Tsangshan mountain, a purple figure stood there volleying in the sky. Looking at the words of the Tao of Heaven fading away in the sky, he couldn't help but mutter to himself, "Unexpectedly, Master has also taken this step." And this figure is none other than Duan Lingtian. After leaving the God-defying realm, he went back and forth several times and returned to the place outside the realm. However, the place where he is now is not the place where he stayed in the land outside the boundary in the past, but another area which is barren in the eyes. Since the last time he came here, there were also a few blind high-ranking gods who came to provoke him, and they were all eliminated by him. Now, all he has to do is to lurk and wait for the opportunity to step into the realm of the strongest. As long as he stepped into the most powerful realm, not only his wife Kir's soul imprisonment could be lifted, even if he looked at the world, even in places outside the world, there would be no opponent for him. 2 ways to go. The divine tree of life continues to improve. Or the gods of the 5 elements help them transform further. Duan Lingtian prepared to do both. Anyway, the current him doesn't need to waste time to cultivate or comprehend the law, the way of swords, etc. He just needs to slowly digest the memory left by the Wukong old man and integrate it. Myriad worlds. One rate belongs to the subordinate realm of one of the 18 realms. A figure turned into a sword light and left this boundary. Then he also escaped into the outside world. This person was Feng Qingyang, who had just passed through the taboo realm, although his catastrophe is relatively small. However, after successfully crossing the tribulation, it still attracted many nearby powerhouses to cross the border. What happened there just now? It seems that someone is crossing the tribulation. The power is not too strong, but it gives people a strong sense of oppression. Could it be that God Venerable in the God-defying realm mentioned in the text of the Heavenly Tao is crossing the taboo realm after reaching the outer worlds? The wind is light, and he no longer suppresses his cultivation, allowing his cultivation to improve. In an instant, his entire body of cultivation has stepped from the middle realm to the upper realm. Even when the power of his law was extended and the way of the sword was displayed, he sensed the call of the most powerful realm. It came so fast. It seems that I will step into the 7th level of Xian before Shaotian. In an instant, Feng Qingyang's momentum continued to increase. With a full body of cultivation, not long after breaking through to a high-ranking deity, he further stepped into the realm of the strongest. Waves of heaven and earth visions also began to gather above his head, and more gathered. Chapter 45:45. High-ranking gods who comprehend the laws to a certain extent, or comprehend the 4 ways of heaven and earth to a certain extent, will be greeted with the call of the Supreme Realm. However, because of entering the Xian realm too early, the speed of comprehending the laws and the 4 ways of heaven and earth will be slowed down and affected, so that many people will not step into the Xian realm at that time. You will choose the law, and after the 4 ways of heaven and earth are further improved, you can sprint to the strongest realm by yourself. For example, today's most powerful and high-level existences, without exception, are all existences who rejected the call of the most powerful realm when they were high-ranking gods. It is precisely because of this that they can have today's achievements. However, today's wind is light, but there is no need to reject the call of the most powerful realm. Before he stepped into the upper god, he comprehended the law of time to the realm of Dzogchen, and the way of swordsmanship to the 7th level, and even attracted the heavenly calamity of the Forbidden Realm. Now he has successfully crossed the catastrophe, stepped into the realm of the upper gods, and ushered in the call of the Supreme Realm. Today I entered Xian with ease. Just entered Xian. It is the 7th level of Xian. In Feng Qingyang's eyes, rays of light condensed and raged. When the aura on his body suddenly swept away, it even caused the bursts of heaven and earth visions that appeared in the sky to collapse. Terrible power swept out of him, causing him to choose one of the 18 middle realms to break through, causing the entire realm to shake a few times. All the creatures in this realm, at this time, have bursts of heartfelt intentions from the bottom of their hearts. Congratulations to Nishan Realm Feng Qingyang. After surviving the taboo realm of catastrophe, he successfully broke through and became the first strongest existence of the 7th level after the historical partition, surpassing the world venerable and saint. When Feng Qingyang completed the breakthrough, and the momentum shook the entire realm, Another word of the Tao of Heaven was printed into the eyes of everyone in the world, and even the people outside the world. Suddenly, everyone was boiling. My God, there is an existence above the saint, superior to a strong person in the realm of respect. Isn't that invincible in the world? Defying the God realm, you really defy the sky. Such an existence was born. And in the near future, Duan Lingtian will probably break through, right? This God-defying realm is about to take off. The outer world's boiled. The world is boiling. At the same time, the outer worlds, Wind, Holy Land, Langya, Sword Pavilion. This is a semi-holy force, and it is also a semi-holy force that Feng Qingyang has been with before. Earlier, when the words about Feng Qingyang appeared, this semi-holy force boiled over. It's just because the Feng Qingyang mentioned in the text of Tiandao is the Feng Qingyang who has been in their semi-holy force for a period of time. The other party was invited to Langya Jianga by their deputy pavilion master. I really didn't expect that little friend Feng Qingyang had concealed the way of swordsmanship he showed earlier. This is soaring into the sky. Above the saints. The old and gentle Langya, Jiang's deputy pavilion master, couldn't help sighing with emotion, but the rest of Langya's sword pavilion regretted it for a while. If I knew it earlier, I should have a good relationship with Feng Qingyang. My God! I didn't expect that in a blink of an eye, the middle level in the past would become the one who surpassed all the powerhouses outside the world and even all the powerhouses in the world. Exist. I have long seen that Feng Qingyang is very capable, and it is true. My vision is still good. Me too. I've seen that Feng Qingyang has a destiny to soar into the sky and be invincible. In the reverse God realm, several half-step Jesuin, Xiao Mubai, and others gathered together again at this time. They all looked at each other, speechless. Is this a breakthrough? We are against the God realm. Have we emerged from the existence of Xian's 7th level or higher? And is it still Feng Qingyang Duan Lingshan's God? After the bursts of silence, it was ecstasy. In Nishan realm, there is an existence that surpasses the powerhouse of realm Venerable Realm, which also means that from now on, Nishan realm will become the top realm in all realms. I thought it would be Duan Lingtian, but I didn't expect Feng Qingyang to walk ahead. Xiao Mubai sighed. At the same time, the Nishan realm was also boiling, especially the group of people under Feng Qingyang in the past. They are all extremely excited at this moment. The Nirvana Heavenly Emperor in the past now stands in a place outside the world, even the pinnacle of the myriad worlds. Master, Duan Lingtian, who was sprinting to the strongest realm, couldn't help but feel happy for his master after seeing the heavenly script that his master had broken through. I'm going to hurry up too. The pure water of the world can transform into the highest form immediately. At that time, I can use this to unite with the other 4 kinds of 5-element gods, step into the strongest realm, and become the second strongest 7th level existence in the land outside the world, and even in the world. Duan Lingtian got the memory of Old Man Wukong. Even if it is the 7th level of Xian, it is not destined to be his end. His goal is to step into the peak that Old Man Wukong has reached in the past, and then surpass Old Man Wukong, even to suppress heavenly Tao. This is also the obsession of Wukong Old Man. Congratulations, Mr. Feng Qingyang. Congratulations, Mr. Feng Qingyang. Feng Qingyang left the boundary of the breakthrough. In this realm, a world-venerated powerhouse and 4 half-step world-venerated powerhouses came out one after another to send the wind away, embothering everyone. Feng Qingyang nodded to them and smiled apologetically. After all, he found a breakthrough here casually, but he didn't expect such a big commotion, which also caused turmoil in the power of the realm, causing a lot of damage to the realm. My Lord Feng Qingyang is serious. It is our honor that you can break through in our realm. The strong man in the realm of respect repeatedly expressed his opinion. No matter what, I owe you a favor this time." After Feng Qingyang left these words, he just left, and the few people present were naturally ecstatic. The favor of the seventh-rank powerhouse? Even if the strongest of the 10,000 realms, the upper 3 realms, come out to attack them, as long as they invite Mr. Feng Qingyang over, the upper 3 realms will probably have to retreat, right? Too strong. After Feng Qingyang left, the powerful man in the realm of dignity breathed a sigh of relief. Although there is only 1 level difference between the 7th level of Xian and the 6th level of Xian, I didn't expect the gap to be so big. He hasn't fully familiarized himself with the power in his body yet, but the changes in power have made me, the 6th level Xian, feel great pressure. As for the others, they lost their composure even more. He gasped heavily for a while. The other side, Feng Qingyang crossed the realm and soon returned to the Nishan realm. Congratulations, Mr. Feng Qingyang, for returning to the God-defying realm. What Feng Qingyang didn't expect was that Xiao Mubai, the lord of the God-defying realm, brought a group of powerful people to meet him, and each of them respected Feng Qingyang as an adult. Chapter 45-46. You don't have to be polite. When Feng Qingyang smiled calmly, he could see through the cultivation of everyone in front of him at a glance. All of them were only half-step world venerables, and none of them was a world venerable powerhouse. We are against the God realm. Don't we have venerable realm? Feng Qingyang asked doubtfully. Hearing Feng Qingyang's words, everyone smiled wryly. If it was before, it would be impossible for them to admit it if asked by outsiders. But now it doesn't matter. After all, on their Nishan realm side, the world's first strong man who surpassed the realm of realm has already been born. My lord, in the past my father was a venerable realm, but he has long since died. But the people of the 10,000 realms don't know it yet. Xiao Mubai sighed and said now he no longer regards Feng Qingyang as a junior, but regards Feng Qingyang as the patron saint after Nishan realm. Moreover, it is the strongest patron saint. At this moment, he had a feeling of unloading a heavy burden. In the past, in order to better resist the 10,000 years of calamity, the old guys around him were the ones who carried the burden for the God-defying realm. But now someone has shared the burden with him. What's more, this person's share made him no longer have to worry about being known as the unbounded, respectable powerhouse in the God-defying realm. We are against the God realm, so what if there is no realm of respect? We have existences beyond the realm of respect. I see. As the other people explained, Feng Qingyang suddenly realized, and then smiled slightly. Everyone, I will be in the God-defying realm in the future, so you can take a breather. My wind is light, since it comes from the God-defying realm. The matter of the God-defying realm is naturally my business. Now, I still have some things to rush. Just as Feng Qingyang was about to go to the land left by the gods, to help his disciple-in-law, to release the soul imprisonment of the soul-bound clan, he seemed to have noticed something, and suddenly looked up to the distance ahead. Then let out a cold snort. Humph dash! Feng Qingyang let out a cold snort, and suddenly a huge sword condensed in the void, and then he cut forward, tearing apart the originally vast space with cracks. Numerous cracks spread, and behind these cracks there are one after another visiting eyes, sweeping from a distance. Everyone, do you want to try my method? After the voice fell, Feng Qing raised his eyes and focused. In the next instant, 2 sword glows whizzed out from his eyes, like 2 sword-shaped gazes, after piercing through the space and entering the space crack. The peeping gazes disappeared indifferently. Puff dash! This is the strength beyond the realm of respect. What a powerful soul power! In various places in the upper 3 realms, there were many powerful people in the realm, with blood flowing from their eyes and trembling bodies. The world-venerated powerhouse Lei Hong in the bright light realm is also among them. Everyone, what should we do now? The strength of this Feng Qingyang is obviously far superior to ours. if he intends to kill us. We are afraid that we will be powerless to fight back. Everyone, let's get together and discuss countermeasures. After Feng Qingyang, that Duan Lingtian is probably about to become the existence of the 7th level Xian. All the powerhouses in the upper 3 realms felt the danger at this moment. Just now, they just wanted to test Feng Qingyang, and the result of the test was completely beyond their expectations. Feng Qingyang's strength is far beyond their imagination. The gap is too big. If we fight head-on, maybe I can't even stop him with a single blow. Lei Hong, a strong man in the Mingguang realm, was famous for his violent temper in the 10,000 realms in the past. But he is so powerful that he is worthy of the 10,000 realms, and even any strong man and saint in the world outside the world. But today he lowered his proud head. It's just because there is someone in the world that he can't compete with, and can even crush him. At the same time as the powerhouses of the upper 3 realms started an emergency meeting, Feng Qingyang also greeted Xiao Mubai and others, and then went to the land of the gods, the Xiao family. In the past, the things that had troubled his disciple Duan Lingtian for a long time, as the power of his soul swept out, they were solved in an instant. Qir, that is, the soul imprisonment on Xianing Xue, was directly expelled by him forcibly. She's fine now. She just needs to recuperate for a while before she can wake up. Feng Qingyang looked at Xiaoyu, the head of the Xiao family, and Xiajia, the 3rd master of the Xiao family, who were also in the room, and said with a smile, "Master Feng Qingyang, please." Xiaoyu and Xiajia said respectfully, "You don't need to be too polite. We are old acquaintances." Feng smiled lightly. "Speaking of which, this girl is still my apprentice-in-law. Patriarch Xia and I are considered in-laws. That disciple of mine should be about to take the last step and come back. For the next period of time, I plan to stay in the Xiao family to practice and wait for my disciple to return, but I have to trouble Patriarch Xia to help me arrange a place to live." Hearing Feng Qingyang's words, Xiaoyu quickly shook his head. "No trouble. No trouble. What a joke. This one in front of him is the number 1 person in the world. How many people are trying to curry favor with him now? Even the strongest ancestor of their Xiao family is still waiting outside, respectfully. There is even a group of Xians coming here, just to meet this one in front of me, the outer worlds." Yun Qingyan, who is integrated with the members of the Guhan clan, the current Yun Xinfeng, only felt his soul shake for a while, and then his face became extremely ugly. My soul was imprisoned and was forcibly dispelled. A strong person in the realm of respect, a saint, may not have this method. It seems that Duan Lingshan's God Venerable Feng Qingyang has come out. There must be a lot of secrets about the 2 masters and apprentices. How could the person in charge take the most critical steps one after another? One has stepped into the 7th level of Xian. Another one, it is only a matter of time before stepping into the 7th level of Xian. Do not know either. Is their secret useful to me? Thinking of this, Yun Xinfeng's eyes showed a bit of hotness and madness. Upper 3 realms. In the bright light world, a number of world-respected and powerful people gathered together. "Everyone, can we just sit and wait for death?" An old man who looked quite old, with fear in his eyes, asked in a deep voice. "Don't forget, not long ago, after Duan Lingtian successfully passed through the taboo realm heavenly tribulation, our upper 3 realms mobilized people to go there, threatening the Nishan realm to hand over Duan Lingtian. Otherwise, we would break the realm. You don't really think that the God-defying realm will let it go after gaining power and don't care about it?" Hearing the old man's words, everyone also thought of the scene of going to the God-defying realm and threatening the God-defying realm in the past, and a bit of remorse flashed in their eyes. That time it was indeed impulsive. "Then what do you think we can do?" Another person asked in a muffled voice. Chapter 45-47. Just when a group of strong men from the upper 3 realms gathered together, They were thinking about how to deal with the potential threat from the God-defying realm. Suddenly, bursts of voices like Buddhist Sanskrit sounds descended from the sky. Although he couldn't understand what the voice was expressing, it still attracted everyone's attention. When everyone's eyes fell on the sky, above the clouds a golden light suddenly appeared, tearing through the secrets of heaven, like a divine light coming to the world, shining to the heavens and the earth. This moment, it's not just the powerhouses gathered in the upper three realms. Even people in other places in the upper three realms, even all circles in the 10,000 realms, and every corner of the outer realm heard the sound and saw the golden light tearing through the clouds. Heavenly words again. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, the heavenly Tao characters that had appeared several times before appeared again. It's just that this time it's not announcing who has survived the catastrophe of the Forbidden Realm, nor is it announcing who has become the strongest Seventh Order powerhouse after the history is cut off. But after the history is cut off, the first Zeon of the 7th level appears, and everyone should celebrate it. From now on, a Tian Tower will appear above the Central Sea area of the Outer Worlds. Saints and half-step world lords can go to pass through the level. Once they pass through all the levels and successfully pass the level, they will be able to get a heavenly Tao talisman, which can block taboos. There are 3 catastrophes. As for which catastrophe to block, you can choose independently. With the appearance of this line of heavenly words, the land outside the world, and even the world became quiet for a moment. However, after a while, many people were puzzled. Tian Pagoda? A talisman of the Tao of Heaven? It can block the taboo and the 3 Tao tribulations? What do you mean? Listen, it seems to be something that allows the world's most powerful people to go one step further. But the more well-informed people, after reading the text of Heavenly Tao, gasped again. It seems that this time in the land outside the world, and even in the world, there will be one after another existences that surpass the saints and the realm of the world. For a long time, the 7th level of Zeon has been like a curse. But now, with Feng Qingyang taking the lead in breaking the curse, Tian Dao simply removed the curse? Why does this seem to be aimed at Feng Qingyang and Duan Lingtian? These 2 people finally survived the taboo catastrophe. One became the existence of the 7th level Zeon, and the other was still on the way. And now, the way of heaven has given other saints, world-respected powerhouses, the hope of stepping into the 7th level of the strongest? The land outside the world, and even the world, was in an uproar at this time. But in the upper 3 realms, all the powerhouses gathered together had their eyes brightened. Haha. It seems that Tian Dao is not willing to see the Enai Shen realm family dominate. Everyone, our chance has come. Lei Hong in the Mingguang realm laughed, and his strong body trembled slightly because of the excitement. Although the Tao talisman can only selectively block the 3 taboo calamities, it still gives us great hope. I don't know what you guys think, but Lei Hong must give it a try. Otherwise, let me bow my knees in front of people from the God-defying realm who were suppressed by our bright light realm in the past. I can't do it. Even if you fight this hard, you will die. I admit it. As soon as the words fell, Lei Hong's figure flickered, and he turned into a stream of light and quickly disappeared in place, heading straight to the outside world. His goal is the Tian Tower above the Central Sea area of the Outer Worlds. To be precise, it is to break through the many checkpoints in the Tongtian Tower, get the amulet of Heaven's Tao, and then take the step that will lead to taboo catastrophe that I have never dared to take in the past. Lei Hong, many years ago, came to the point where he was one step away from the forbidden catastrophe. However, because he knew that he would die, he dared not take another step forward. And this time, the appearance of Tian Tower and Heavenly Tao Talisman undoubtedly brought him hope and gave him the opportunity to go further. Of course, even if he got the Heavenly Tao Talisman, he was not fully sure of breaking through the taboo catastrophe. However, he still intends to fight. The blood that has been silent for many years seems to be boiling again. After Lei Hong went to the place beyond the boundary, he continued to yell freely, and his voice shook all directions, as if his voice could be heard by most of the people in the Mingguang realm. Follow Lei Hong away. Someone will follow and leave immediately. Lei Hong is right. In the past, 10 deaths and no lives were enough. Now, the appearance of the heavenly Tao talisman has brought us a glimmer of hope. Even if we are close to death, I will try it. A burly old man also stood up after Lei Hong left. It's nothing to me to bow down to the strongest 7th-level existence in the God-defying realm. After all, I walked all the way in the same way many years ago. Only by being able to bend and stretch can we survive better in this world. However, the most recent Xian heavenly tribulation, I am already a little powerless. I am afraid that it will not be long before I will die under the heavenly tribulation. Instead of waiting to die, it's better to fight back. Or die early. Either go further, you can live for more years. At the same time, there is no need to bow down to those 2 brats from the God-defying realm. When Lang Xing opened his mouth, the burly old man followed Lei Hong and left in a blink of an eye, with 2 people taking the lead, except for about half of the world-venerated powerhouses present who planned to wait and see first. The other half were also infected by Lei Hong and the 2 and followed. At the same time, among the 18 realms in China, there are also several figures who crossed the realm and went to the place outside the realm. At the same time, Duan Lingtian also saw the heavenly Tao text that had been lingering in the sky for a long time, and his expression became extremely ugly in an instant. Heavenly, it's really shameless. Before Master and I successfully crossed the catastrophe, before Master stepped into the 7th level of the strongest, I never saw it so kindly, helping people overcome the forbidden catastrophe. Heavenly Tao talisman, can it block 3 robberies? As a person who has experienced the taboo catastrophe, Duan Lingtian knows the taboo catastrophe very well. If he is given the Heaven Tao talisman, he can easily overcome the catastrophe. Although there are more than 3 powerful heavenly tribulations in the taboo heavenly tribulation, the appearance of this heavenly Tao talisman will definitely allow some of the contemporary saints and powerhouses to successfully overcome the catastrophe. If we say that in the past their probability of success in crossing the catastrophe was almost 0, once the taboo catastrophe was attracted, 10 deaths and no life. But now there is a certain degree of certainty that he will succeed in crossing the tribulation and go one step further. But for some saints and superpowers with deep background and powerful means, life and death are at most mixed, and there is a great chance of success in crossing the tribulation. This day, one day, I will break you. Old man Wukong's will. I will definitely help him achieve it. In Duan Lingxin's eyes, the killing intent aimed at Tiandao kept rising, and it was out of control. Chapter 45-48 Tower of Babel. Feng Qingyang, who was in the God-defying realm, naturally saw the words of the Tao of Heaven. For a moment, Duan Lingxin's anger was also set off in his heart. I worked desperately and stepped into the 7th level of Xian, became the first existence beyond the realm of respect and saints after the history was cut off. Now, seeing that Duan Lingtian, my disciple, will also become the 2nd such existence after me, after the historical barrier. Just at this time, heaven, but suddenly created a Tian pagoda, come up with the heavenly talisman. It is obvious that they want to help the existence of the 6th level of the strongest who are stuck in the realm of the world and the realm of the saints. Step into the 7th level of the strongest. Isn't this bullying? Why didn't I see you doing this before? Snort dash! Suddenly, Feng Qingyang let out a cold snort and then flew out of the sky on the spot and then approached the ground. When he raised his hand, the sword light shone, and the space was torn apart by him. Then he walked in along the torn space. In a blink of an eye, the torn space closed, and Feng Qingyang had disappeared into the turbulent flow of space. Certainly, with Feng Qingyang's current strength, even if he entered the turbulent space, it would be like walking on flat ground without any pressure. The destination of his trip is not other places, but the place outside the world. Exactly. He is going to go to the location of the Tiantian Tower above the Central Sea area of the Outer Worlds. As for what to do, needless to say, as the only existence of the 7th level Xian in the current world, Feng Qingyang's speed is not unpleasant. After seeing the words of the Tao of Heaven, announcing the appearance of the Tiantian Tower and the rewards of the Tongtian Tower, Feng Qingyang broke through the sky and came to the outside world immediately. Therefore, he was the first to come to the sky above the Central Sea area of the Outer Worlds, where the Tongtian Tower is located. This is Tongtian Tower. In the sky above the boundless sea area, the wind was blowing and standing in the sky, looking at the giant tower suspended in the sky above, exuding bursts of mysterious aura, his eyes shone brightly. At the same time, he could also sense that there were a lot of auras lurking under the sea area, ready to move. It was a group of sea monsters who noticed the abnormal movement here. Some of them exist because they are attracted by the pure awareness of movement, while others come to watch the excitement, because the sea area where they are located is the Central Sea area of the Outer Worlds. But although the overlord of the sea area is also the existence of the most powerful realm, there is still a long way to go from the Sage Realm, which is the Jesuin realm of the myriad realms. It's just in Xian 4th order existence. It's a pity that this Tongtian Tower only allows the existence of the 6th level Xian to enter. Otherwise, I must go in and give it a try. In the depths of the sea, in an underwater palace, a thin old man is holding the imperial power. Sitting on the throne, his eyes are like torches, as if he can pass through the endless sea and land on the sea level. Someone came so soon. Soon he saw the only young man standing in the air near the Tongtian Tower on the sea level. The young man was dressed in blue and stood with his hands behind his back. He stood there as if he didn't feel the coercion of the Tongtian Tower at all. He's definitely better than me. The old man sucked in a breath of cold air. Even if he was the 4th level Xian, he couldn't get close to the Tongtian Tower. It can be seen that the opponent's strength is beyond his comparability. At this time I arrived at the first time, and it's so powerful. I'm afraid it is at least the existence of the 6th level Xian. He thought to himself, almost at the moment when his thoughts fell. His gaze pierced the sea, and he suddenly found that the young man in blue, as if he had spotted him, suddenly turned his head and looked at him. At a glance, in an instant, he only felt a terrifying coercion shooting out from the opponent's eyes, flowing upstream along his gaze. Stop! Stop! The 2 terrifying sword lights destroyed his vision all the way, until finally, with all his means, he barely resisted the opponent's eye sword. Boom! Rumble! At the same time that the old man blocked the opponent's eye sword, the palace he was in was also turned into ruins, and his men with lower cultivation bases were all seriously injured and unconscious without exception. Even if there are a few existences who have stepped into the Xian realm, either their eyes are bleeding, or their faces are as pale as paper, as if they have experienced a life-and-death battle. Wang, who did it? Did a saint attack you? A middle-aged man of medium build asked the old man with a look of fear. Shoot! Hearing the middle-aged man's words, the old man smiled miserably. He didn't make a move. He just looked at me. As soon as these words came out, the people at the scene froze in place as if they had been strangled by the neck. After a while, they all gasped. Take a look? Just let their powerful king be so embarrassed that they even went back to the king's palace? Several of them Xians were also affected and traumatized. Even the high-ranking sage probably doesn't have such astonishing means, right? My lord, even a saint might not have this ability, right? A young man asked with a look of apprehension. That's natural. Hearing the words, the old man sighed, then raised his head and glanced at the direction of the sea level, and said in a fearful tone, "If I'm not wrong." The first strong man who arrived near the Tongtian Tower should be the one who was notified by the text of Tiandao, and the first one to step into the seventh level existence after the history was cut off. He seems to be called "The Wind is Blowing," Xian seventh level. The wind is blowing. Hearing their king's words, everyone present fell into a dead silence again. In the end, someone asked, "He has stepped into the seventh level of Xian. The test of the Tongtian Tower is useless to him, right? After all, the reward for clearing the Tongtian Tower is 3 pieces that can resist the taboo. Heavenly Doubt Talisman." "It's useless." The old man nodded. Then, with a flash of light in his eyes, he said bluntly, "If I'm not wrong, he came to prevent those saints from entering the Tongtian Tower. After all, if no one can get the reward of the Tongtian Tower, except for Duan Lingtian, it will be difficult for the existence of the 7th level Xian to appear in this era. If one person can dominate, why let others grow up?" At this moment, he substituted himself into Feng Qingyang, and it was not difficult to guess what Feng Qingyang was thinking. And it's not just him. Even people in places outside the world, and even other people in the world, feel the way of heaven is too biased. Why do some people rely on hard work to step into the 7th level of Xian, but you backhanded and gave a shortcut for others to take? Isn't this for the former? Chapter 45-49. The Tongtian Pagoda, like a majestic giant mountain, hangs in the sky, with mysterious light shining and a terrifying aura sweeping all directions. People with low cultivation levels cannot approach it at all. Only the existence above the 6th level of Xian can approach and enter it. This is also the threshold set by the Tao of Heaven. You don't even have the 6th level of Xian. Why come here to join in the fun? Whoosh! Accompanied by a swift whistling sound, a strong and tall figure appeared from afar. This is a middle-aged man with a resolute and stern face. He is far away from Tongtian Tower, and his eyes are full of heat when he looks at Tongtian Tower. As long as I succeed in breaking through the barrier, I, Lei Hong, will be able to get 3 heavenly Tao talismans to deal with the taboo realm, heavenly tribulation. The taboo realm I have been able to step in a long time ago, but I dare not step in. If I have 3 heavenly talismans, what fear do I have? I still don't believe it. I, Lei Hong, rank among the top 3 in 10,000 realms. Speaking of this, he seemed to suddenly think of something. He paused and then murmured to himself. In the past, the top 3 existences in the world's strength, under the protection of the 3 heavenly amulets, will not be able to break through the catastrophe of the taboo realm. If you can't break through, even if you die, I will admit it. When the voice fell, Lei Hong had already arrived near Tongtian Tower. However, he did not enter the Tongtian Tower, just because the way was blocked. A blue figure stood on the side of the Tongtian Pagoda, and a powerful and terrifying consciousness spread out, sweeping all directions, covering a large area around it. Lei Hong blocked out. The 7th level of Xian? Feeling the strength of the opponent's consciousness, Lei Hong's face changed. It is not difficult for him to guess the identity of the other party just through the other party's divine sense. The former compatriots of the Tiandao script, the first strongest 7th level existence after the history was cut off. The Feng Qingyang of the God-defying realm. Are you Master Feng Qingyang from the God-defying realm? Taking a deep breath, Lei Hong slightly cupped his hands towards Feng Qingyang and greeted him politely. At this time, several people followed one after another. They are all top powerhouses in the 3 realms of the 10,000 realms. They happened to see Lei Hong bowing his hands, and they were stunned for a moment. They knew exactly who Lei Hong was. In the past, after Lei Hong stepped into the 6th level of Xian, there was no one in the 10,000 realms or even the outside world who could make him bow down. But now he respects a person so much. They tried out their spiritual sense, and soon the feedback they got made them realize who the person blocking the way was. The wind is blowing, the strongest 7th level existence in the God-defying realm. All of a sudden, everyone's expressions changed drastically. Why did Feng Qingyang appear here? They don't need to guess. It must be the Tian Tower created by dissatisfied with the way of heaven, and wants to stop people like them from entering. Master Feng Qingyang. In fact, Lei Hong was extremely unwilling to call Feng Qingyang like this. After all, in his eyes, Feng Qingyang is just a junior. But, thinking of the strength that the other party possesses now, he has to be afraid. After all, the other party took a step that he didn't take. It's me. Facing Lei Hong's greeting, Feng Qingyang glanced at him lightly and said in a calm tone without any emotion, "From today on, the Tian Tower is forbidden. If someone breaks in, die." When it came to the end, Feng Qingyang's tone suddenly turned cold, making people feel like falling into an ice cellar. And then, without waiting for Lei Hong to respond, he was already sitting cross-legged in the void and began to close his eyes to meditate, but the spiritual consciousness that had spread out had never been retracted in the slightest. Still monitoring the quartet. Swish! Lei Hong's face changed drastically. Although he had guessed the reason for Feng Qingyang's appearance here, he still couldn't accept the result. His complexion became a little ugly. Then he took a deep breath, looked at Feng Qingyang and said, "The Tongtian Pagoda was arranged by the Tao of Heaven to give us the strongest 6th level existences a chance to hit the 7th level. Aren't you afraid that Heaven will punish you and kill you if you act like this? You are violating the law of Heaven." As soon as Lei Hong opened his mouth, he lifted the Tian Dao out, threatening Feng Qingyang. And hearing his words, Feng Qingyang couldn't help but open his eyes, and then looked at him like an idiot. "Heaven will kill me? If Heaven can kill me at will without any reason, why build the Tongtian Pagoda here? Just kill me, isn't that all right? Why do you want to help other people step into the 7th stage? Laugh." After a sneer, Feng Qingyang closed his eyes again. The indifference on his face showed his confidence that no one would dare to offend. Lei Hong's face darkened. He also had to admit that what Feng Qingyang said was indeed reasonable. The appearance of Tongtian Pagoda is obviously Tian Dao, targeting Feng Qingyang, and another Duan Ling Tian who has passed through the taboo realm. If he was Feng Qingyang, and if he was targeted by the Tao of Heaven, he would definitely be like Feng Qingyang, guarding the Tongtian Tower and preventing people from entering. Even what he did might be even better than Feng Qingyang. He will come to the vicinity of the Tongtian Tower and kill all the strongest 6th level people who want to enter the Tongtian Tower. Everyone, what should we do now? Lei Hong turned his head, looked at the powerhouses from the 3 realms of the 10,000 realms who were following him, and asked through sound transmission. These powerhouses are basically the existence of the 6th Order Xian. Could it be possible to let him prevent us from entering Tongtian Tower? Lei Hong's tone was a little more unwilling. However, after hearing Lei Hong's words, everyone advised him, "Lei Hong, stop complaining. Otherwise, what can you do? Are you sure to defeat him? Do you have the strength to disobey him? I think we should go back and have a long-term plan. I still don't believe that he can stay here forever." Right. During the sound transmission, everyone's voice was full of fear, and no one agreed with Lei Hong, because they were all afraid that the silly spore would drag them into the water to deal with Feng Qingyang. This is the first existence of the 7th Order Xian after the historical cutoff. They don't want to be each other's sharpening stone. In other words, Lei Hong's head is relatively strong. Finally, although Lei Hong was unwilling, he could only leave with everyone. After a while, around the Tongtian Pagoda calm was restored. At this time, a group of sages from all over the world who were hiding in the dark nearby also sighed. Lei Hong's violent guy retreated. They can only return. Originally, they expected Lei Hong to fight each other, so they took the opportunity to sneak into Tongtian Tower. Unexpectedly, Lei Hong was intimidated. It's finally here. After a while, Duan Lingtian finally took the last and most critical step with the help of the 5 elements gods. Then, I sensed the call of the most powerful realm. This call he has experienced in the past. However, that time it was rejected. This time he didn't refuse again. Bring it on. Extreme 7th level. Duan Lingshan's eyes lit up with anticipation on his face. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.